Good day, everyone. Welcome to Dial the Gate, the Stargate Oral History Project. I'm waiting to hear back from Michael. I'm not sure what's going on. This is the first time that he's done this, but we've got such a large crowd of 250 people. So I decided to bring a few guests in to hang with us. How you guys doing?
Yeah, you said Dial the Gate, which it is, but this is technically on another spot this week,
That's
which is
exactly
interesting.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wormhole Extremists, for letting me borrow.
Commandeer.
That's good.
Commandeer this channel.
Yeah.
Well, this
you are
yours.
very welcome. That's it. Exactly. This is a shared space.
It is indeed.
And we have a shared vision of sharing Stargate.
Yeah, so we're waiting to hear
a fine platform for Michael.
I hope that he's okay. He's always extremely prompt. Anytime when I just reach out to him anyway, he's on it. So I hope everything's all right. So we're gonna hang around just so that I can, provide an update so that we can reschedule it. But I do have someone else who's special who was actually here to surprise Michael, and he's gonna be joining us in just a second here. Darren, how you doing?
It's not me. And it's not me.
That's it.
I'm just here.
Darren's just here.
You're a special
I
guest
tried to get
of another
sleep
kind.
last night after the big announcement and 3 days of live streaming on Dial the Gate and Gate World. And you said, hey, how about we do it again?
I know.
Because it's so much fun.
Well, I don't know about you, but I slept better than I have this whole week last night. I was gone. You?
It's been a blast, but it's, squeezed all the juice out of me.
It's like a convention weekend.
It is.
Right?
It is, exactly.
It's that same level of energy in terms of like the amount of brain power that's been used. I just feel like wiped. So.
Hanging out with fans, talking about something new, seeing some guests.
And then Nicole and I haven't had the same schedule as you guys, but I have been up quite early. I think this is my third day this week. So it has been taking its toll.
Remind everyone what time it is for you, Evie. What time is it?
It's 2:30 in the morning.
Exactly.
This is the third time this week that I've been up this early, but it's a fine cause, and I have my Stargate mug of coffee. So
look at that thing. Jeez.
See how I go sleeping after this.
Yeah.
For sure. It'd be like watching Peter the Great devour Sweden. All right. So I wanted to let everyone know what it is that we have here. So while we're waiting on Michael, this is the Wormhole Extremists rewatch channel. This is Dial the Gate's little sister channel. And Nicole, myself, Evie, we all get on this thing every Sunday, generally speaking, and cover 2 hours of Stargate in airing order. So tomorrow, what are we covering, Evie?
We are watching Endgame, and we are also watching what is the other one?
The Storm?
The Storm.
Yes.
So Evie, you are magic with the memes. And what did you use for this week's Wormhole Extremist meme?
This was funny.
This was really fun. Like the synchronicity here is like very bizarre. Yeah.
Well, a little backstory. I was typing out my notes for Endgame, and the very start of that episode is Walter and the other technician, I can't remember his name, and they've decided to take a break from their 2 a.m. shift watching over the Stargate to sneak some coffee, and that's when the gate is beamed away, and there's like the offline banner sort of flashing all around the gate room. And I thought, oh my God, it just feels very relevant to what was happening with the Dial the Gate channel being sort of inaccessible at the moment while things sorted out in the background. So I thought that would be perfect to use. So that's what we used as kind of a meme to encapsulate this whole
well I appreciate having you guys. Evie, can you duck for a minute, and I'm going to bring in our special guest. Is that okay?
Am I ducking too?
No, not you.
So just turn off my video?
Yes, thank you.
Why am I staying?
Because I love your reactions.
Oh God,
they are classic.
Oh,
you're more animated than me.
Oh God, I'm actually shaking. It's fine. I've already met him twice.
It's just a dude, He puts
his hands on,
and it's a working dude on top of that. So,
it's this dude. Yay!
Are you seeing him? Because I'm not seeing him.
I'm seeing a empty space that's now unmuted and muted again, with no visuals.
Uh-oh.
No.
Hey, there he
3, 2, 1.
is. Oh my God.
A special guest coming around.
You
This is
keep
Unmute
your
great.
yourself.
lightning in your pants. Or your robes. Mr. Harcesis child, how you doing? Don't throw any bolts at us.
That's
Unmute
absolutely
yourself, Lane.
mental.
Lane, I can't hear you. I think you're on mute, buddy.
Can you hear me now?
This is
Hey.
mental. This is mental.
Chat,
I
I'm
didn't
still
know.
figuring out this whole technology thing.
So I can't bring you Michael at the moment. We're waiting to hear back from him. I hope he's okay. But Lane agreed to come on and surprise Michael. And so, buddy, it's so good to see you. How you doing?
I've been doing pretty good. It's starting to get a little chilly out here in Alberta, Canada, but doing pretty good.
The Sunshine Coast, is that what you guys call it? That where you're at?
No, I'm in Calgary, Alberta at the moment.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of where. Okay, got it. Apologies.
Yeah, usually I'm in Kelowna, enjoying the beach and everything, but not today. Today I'm in Calgary, so.
Okay, cool. Darren, meet Lane.
Lane, it's so great to meet you. I
Nice to meet you, too.
appreciated your work. Obviously on Stargate.
Thank you.
The Absolute Power is one of my favorite episodes, and it is a warning. And it's one of the ones that I've been really saving in my back pocket so that we could have Michael on, and I was hoping that that Lane would be able to come in at some point here. Michael is usually very prompt, so we're just kind of waiting, and partly just want to know that he's okay. So I'm kind of going to hang out here and hopefully provide that information with you guys. I emailed Lexa. I don't have her number, but I emailed her, and we're just waiting to get some more information. Nicole, meet Lane.
Hi, Lane. I don't do well with meeting the actors from Stargate because I just get a little bit shy, which is so funny because I'm so loud and annoying. So it's like, wah, you know.
Funny for the rest of us to watch.
I don't
Exactly
I'm
right.
super uncomfortable right now.
Why are you uncomfortable?
I'm fine. It's fine.
Chat, if
It's
you've got,
fine.
if you're mods, if you've got any questions in the chat for Lane, if you want to put them at the top of the dog pile here, I'm going to create a space. If there's anyone in the chat who has something to ask him, we're going to hang out with him for a little bit here and salvage the show as much as we can. I really appreciate everyone who's come over to Wormhole Extremists to have this conversation with us. Dude,
Our sister show.
the show is back. The franchise is coming back. It's been 14 years. You were on it. What do you think?
I am so excited for it. I'm really happy that they're bringing it back, and they're
You're a
listening
fan.
to the fans. Yeah, for absolutely. You know,
Awesome.
Some my greatest memories as a child and working on that show and meeting everybody, and I'd be really interested to see where the story goes from here.
Exactly. It's always wild to see what's going on, you know, with all of you guys out there, and then to have you come back in and be able to share with you the fact that this franchise is no longer inert. You know, something's going to happen. Darren, do you have anything for Lane?
What's your relationship with Michael these days? Have you had any contact with him since filming Absolute Power all those years ago, or is this a surprise? I was that little kid you worked with.
No, this is a surprise. I was the little kid that you worked with.
Awesome.
He has good memories of that episode. So,
Yeah, it was a very important episode for Daniel, right? Not just
Yeah.
because of Shifu's connection with Sharai, but that sort of realization that Absolute Power gave us, which is that even if we could get access to all the knowledge of the Goa'uld that is in Shifu's head, we shouldn't.
Yeah,
Absolute Power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They one of the biggest things was, you know, he's got all that information stuck in his head, right? And everybody wants it. And he kind of showed him a little bit of a glimpse of, well, you know, be careful what you wish for.
be careful.
It's kind of the premise, right?
Yeah.
And it was just really cool, you know, being that character and with the fast aging and everything. I kind of wonder where would he be now, right?
They said that he was programmed genetically to age to the point where we saw you. So now he will age normally, which means they could do anything with him in the future. So,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah. I've got a couple of questions for you here. Kathy's Call 3899. Did you ever find it challenging to act opposite certain actors? Would some treat you like a kid? Would others treat you like a peer? How did that work as a dynamic with a child actor? Was it individual, or was it kind of like, this is a child actor, we're going to treat him just like any other actor? Or was it different for every actor you were sharing a scene with?
I think it was a little different for every actor, you know. But for the most part, everybody just kind of treated me like an actor in the character. Um, and so it, hmm.
To be
Yeah,
fair, it's been a while since you've been acting, so this is not what you
Yes,
do anymore. I'd like to remind. So he's doing me a favor just by showing up. Thanks, buddy.
yeah, no, I haven't been acting. Stargate was one of the last things that I did as an actor. Um, and so, you know, but it was almost a little over 20 years ago now, that I did Absolute Power. But no, it was really great. Everybody kind of treated me just another actor on set, and yeah, of course, it was intimidating with some actors with depending on the scenes that we were doing. But you know, and I remember working with Daniel quite a bit, and you know, that was just awesome. You know, watching someone actor, I remember thinking, man, I'm not as good as these guys are. But so
Gotta start from somewhere.
But also don't be
Well,
so hard on
absolutely.
yourself,
You were 12, right?
especially as a child. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, right? But it was
Remind us who
definitely
directed that? Who directed your episode?
Peter, I
Eloise.
believe. Peter
Deloise.
DeLuise, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a Peter DeLuise special. Good.
Yeah. And he was awesome. I mean, he was just a whole lot of fun to work with.
I do have
I-
I have a follow-up question
Yeah,
to like
Nicole.
just in general to what David said earlier, which is that so you're like, like a fan of the show. Like, what are things that you're like a big fan of? Because I have loads of hobbies and I love finding out what other people are big fans of and hobbies of, because that's where our passions are. So like what's something you're a big fan of that isn't Stargate necessarily?
I really loved, like, even as a kid, the whole idea of a Stargate was pretty
That's
cool,
great.
right?
Okay.
The the whole wormholes and the aspect of that was just really cool. You know, how would an ancient civilization, you know, travel around, you know, and how would they move things and things like that, and the whole concept of wormholes and things like that. That was a really cool concept for me, and I kind of
Hmm.
kept that passion for, I don't know, even up till now, it's kind of a really cool concept to kind of keep on science and learning some of the things that they're learning, that, you know, wormholes are potentially possible now. And
Black holes are real. We've got
Who
a photo of
knows?
it.
yeah, you
Yeah.
know, you spend a little bit too much time around them, and the whole idea of time kind of slips
Yeah.
away, right?
Mhm.
So that whole
Yeah.
concept is really cool. I really like the kind of
Yeah.
bringing.
For everyone who's joining us right now, Michael, I haven't heard from him this morning. I hope that everything's all right. At this point, I'm kind of hanging on just so that I can give you guys all news there. I'm sure everything's fine, but he's usually the first. Anytime I text him, he's usually, first to respond, whether or not we have something happening. So just kind of hanging around
So this is very out of character, which
the
is
porch here with the light on, just kind of looking down the road and waiting for a pair of headlights at this point. But Lane, I have a question for you that's really esoteric, and I really appreciate you coming here to pinch hit for him, which is what this has turned out to be. So I'm going to keep this. This is great. You rewatched the episode when you came on, and it's kind of like, it's a dream, but I think it is him in there, because he's sharing this with Daniel. I think that there's a piece of him that's in there. When you guys advance forward and you're eating the bowl of cereal, he has which is a staple, in our show for sure.
Yeah.
Shifu's sitting at the breakfast table with Daniel, and he has the line, he says, breakfast is the most important people of the day. And Daniel asks him, did Oma teach you that? And what does he say?
Television.
That's right. And he has a smile on his face, which is not something that Shifu really did until we saw him at the end. Did you get that impression when you were watching that back, that your idea was that he's acclimated to Earth a little bit, that he's kind of left a piece of he's still wearing the garb, but he's kind of left personality-wise a piece of the monk behind? Or
Absolutely, yeah.
So that is what's happened.
Absolutely. It's he's basically putting some of that Oma and his past behind him, and now he's kind of watching TV and learning all this new stuff from from Earth as it is.
Oh boy, he's discovered
And
sugar.
he's
We have a problem.
discovered all the great things, and oh man, this Oma teaches, but she didn't teach me any of this stuff. So, he's kind of excited by it as well, and so
Oh, that's
I think
good.
he's kind of dived right into Earth and all the things that it has to offer. And I mean, Fruit Loops. I mean, I'm still a fan of Fruit Loops to this day, but I ate more than I ever did as a child, just
Well,
during that one day.
yeah, because you didn't have it. That's what
Yeah,
you had said earlier. The
yeah,
it's kind of one doesn't really follow the other in that case, because if that was the case with his personality, now I would have expected him to be in some normal clothes, but
right.
they also just kind of they weren't clear about it because it was Michael's story, so
Mhm.
it was Daniel's story, and so it was a dream, and it wasn't um, that this was a new reality where time had moved on. So it made sense for you to stay in the same outfit, but at the same time, you could interject a little bit more of your own personality, or
Mhm.
what his personality would have been had he been raised on Earth with Daniel and Shari,
I would have
like
liked to see
Daniel
some nerdy
wanted.
t-shirts, some like kids nerdy t-shirts of like maybe some
Yeah,
wormholes or
Or
something,
Corn,
something fun.
or
Yeah.
yeah.
Led Zeppelin,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for him that was just what he feels comfortable in, right? And to
Yeah.
be fair, those robes are pretty comfortable as so
Give me my slippers.
why would I want to put on this shirt and tight pants and everything? I got this robe that's extremely comfortable. So, you definitely wouldn't want to leave all of yourself behind. So
Absolutely. Darren?
Uh, I'm just going to say
That's
that I'm going to have to dip, guys, if that's
Thank
okay.
you.
I've got dinner to do, but Lane, it was lovely to
all
meet
right.
you. And there's
Thank
yeah,
you.
somebody
you
else in the
too.
wings that I got to meet. So I'm really just appreciative of David always looking after us and people coming over to the channel to say hi. And
Thanks, Nicole.
yeah, love you guys.
Love you. Talk
Bye.
to
Good
you
to see you.
soon. Diana, can you join us,
See you later,
please?
Nicole.
Darren, do you have another question for Lane?
I'm just following up. I think it's just such a brilliant take on the episode that there's a part of Shifu in the dream. He's almost sort of getting the chance to experience Daniel and how Daniel sees the world through
Mhm.
Daniel's dream. And it makes sense, right? Because at the end, the line is, "Thank you for teaching me of my mother."
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it makes
That's
sense that
why he came.
he's got more contact with Daniel than
Yeah.
just that first scene when he dips his forehead.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of just not just a one way. I'm not just showing you something too. It's kind of I'm getting a little something from you as well, right? And so it's kind of that shared connection for while he's, in his dream state or whatever. So
Yeah,
I think
dreams
that
teach, and it goes two ways there.
that's
That's
right.
brilliant.
That's Oma teaches in dreams too, right? So it's
Yeah, they're ethereal. They can be whatever they want.
yeah, right.
So,
So
Lane, I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine. This is Diana Drew Botsford. She is a
right.
producer and writer in Hollywood. She also is responsible for two Stargate SG-1 books that are very key to Daniel, the Drift and Four Dragons. Diana, surprise! You didn't expect
Yeah.
when you wake up today that you'd meet a lightning throwing energy being. So
Well, but also, listen, Lane, it's really great to meet you, and your performance was an inspiration for my second of my books, The Drift, in
yes,
which Skara comes back utilizing a lot of the talents or techniques that you used as Shifu in Absolute Power. So this is kind of cool to meet you.
That's awesome. Well, nice to meet you too.
I loved your work. It was great.
Thank you.
do you have anything you might want to ask Lane, given the context of the show and Daniel's journey and everything that he brought about?
I think that what's interesting is that there were times in the relationship of the characters on the screen that there had to be a little bit of one-way animosity coming from Daniel. And so as a child, how old were you? I'm sorry, how old were you at the time?
I was 12, I believe. 11.
So, I mean, was this predominantly you yourself, or did Deloise work with you to get you to understand, don't take this personally, this is just the characters in action?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, he definitely coached me a little bit as to what to expect from the other actors and kind of where their headspace was as is in the characters, just to kind of prepare me for, hey, it's just acting, just so you know. This is kind of, it's going to be a little standoffish, but don't take it personally. It's just it's what we're trying to do. And I'd done quite a few acting jobs before that.
Oh,
So I was kind of aware aware as to it was just everything on screen, especially because as soon as the cameras stopped rolling, we were all laughing and joking around with each other. So it was a really fun environment, actually.
well, DeLuise is great, so I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah,
So,
he's a big jokester for sure. So it was
was there ever discussion about you coming back to reprise your role?
No, not really, because I had kind of stepped away from acting pretty much when the show ended. Um, I stopped working with my agent and was just kind of being a kid and a teenager until I was 16. I didn't really do anything with film again. And then yeah, I kind of stepped away from it from that point. But um yeah, so I don't know. It would be cool for sure, but no, I had stepped away from acting, so that wasn't really in the cards, I don't think.
Now, the writer's wheels are turning right now. Imagine.
Yeah.
Darren, can you minimize for a second? I want to bring in Evie. Are you there, Evie? There she is.
Hello.
Say hi to Lane. Lane, this is my other
Hi,
co-host,
Lane.
Evie.
I've
Hi.
been lurking in the background.
Do you have any questions for Lane?
I have some that are in the question
Do you
sheet.
yourself have questions for Lane? If not, you
Oh,
can
goodness.
pretend that someone else. No, if you could ask, yeah,
Steal somebody else's question.
yeah.
The most common question that we have in the chat is it was probably covered in your Dial the Gate interview, I think, Lane, but
Yeah, let's do it.
if you wouldn't mind just revisiting it for those who are in the chat presently, they've just asked like how you got into acting. You said that you were 12. Is that when you started acting, or had you started acting prior to that?
No, so I think my first film was a TV movie called Major Crimes, and I believe I was about 6 years old
Ooh.
when I started that.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Wow.
yeah, so I'd done quite a few things up to that point. I believe I was on Outer Limits as well.
Yeah.
Of
I think I was
course.
in the first Crow movie. Major Crimes was a big movie. Went to Toronto as like 6 years old with my mom and yeah, so she started me off in modeling as a kid. One of my first things I did was in Hollywood, actually, where
Wow.
I had to be Simba or one of the lions and skip down this
Oh.
runway, but I didn't know how to skip, so kind of I kind of just hopped down this runway,
Oh, too
and
cute.
sweating profusely because I didn't know how to skip at the time, and my brain just would not put two and two together how
Aw.
to do it, no matter how much anyone showed me.
Oh,
And
that would have been adorable though.
yeah, so
Did
after
your
that,
mum
I
get any footage of that?
no, unfortunately,
Oh.
not back
Aw.
then. But yeah, it's seared into my memory for sure.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. So you
and then
said
after
you'd walked away from acting as a craft. So what are you currently doing?
I run heavy equipment in the oil fields of Alberta, Canada.
Wow,
So
that's a that's a big change from acting. You don't kind of
yeah,
get the acting itch. You don't want to do like stage or anything like that. You've completely retired from acting?
yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean,
Yeah,
I kind of it's in the oil fields. It's kind of hard to. You don't really have much time for anything else.
I bet.
I've got three kids and a wife and
Oh, wow, busy.
so it's
Family.
busy life for sure. We
Yeah.
work 12-hour days, 20 days at a time. Then we get about 10 days
Oh,
off,
wow.
and so
Oh,
Rick,
okay. Yeah, we call that fly in, fly out.
that's right.
Like
Yeah,
the mining FIFO
yeah.
work.
We
Yeah.
drive to site. Unfortunately, there's no
Oh,
fly
wow.
in job. It's I drove 5 hours yesterday to get to Calgary and got another
Oh
six
my
drive on
goodness.
Monday.
yeah, a lot of
Oh,
audiobooks,
geez.
right?
Audiobooks
Absolutely,
or
yeah.
David, Wormhole Extremists.
Yes, Wormhole Extremists, absolutely. But I mean, it's you can't. We're not that good at an audiobook if you're not going to be able to watch it. And I don't recommend you watch
not really.
Stargate and listen to us and drive at the same time. That's
No,
a lot
please
of
don't do
that's a
that.
lot of focus pulled away from the road. Thank you to Lockwatcher and Rick Costa for those questions. Just make sure you read those off, Evie, as well.
Yes,
The names.
absolutely.
So,
do you want me to
yeah,
ask
go ahead.
some more of Lane?
Actually, can we sit
What
one
have we
aside
got?
for Diana real quick here?
Yeah, there
Go
is
down to
actually
Kappa
one for
1611.
Diana.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So, Diana, Kappa 1611 has asked, as a writer, what do you think of the trend towards more serialized shows? How did it affect the writing storytelling? Or how does it affect the writing storytelling?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, there's actually there is a group in networks that are preferring going back to episodic as well. So
Yeah.
there's a push me pull me going on, and I can tell you, developing my own television material, that the best of both worlds is really the only way to go, where you have the A plot is self-contained to that episode, it's resolved at the end of the episode, but the B plot is serialized, kind of like Stargate was, SG-1. They did that too, which is
That's
why
very
I love
true.
that show. Deep Space Nine also, once it got over it being so terrified of what they had set up, they got into that as well, thanks to I Received There, where your A plot, you're satisfied at the end of the episode, but B is just building and building and building and building, typically with a mid-season, and then things will settle down, and then the end of the season, things come back to face themselves. I mean, Apple doesn't need to do that. Apple doesn't really care about numbers, so they can do things like Pluribus,
Right.
or
Really niche
Ted
entertainment.
Lasso. Even Ted Lasso season 3 was more serialized than the first two
Yeah.
seasons. What's Scrubs going to be like, conversely, but because that's ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
that's
wait,
true.
personally. I think
Do you
Bill
think
Lawrence
it's-
is a genius.
Yes, yeah, I really enjoyed Scrubs as well, so I'm looking forward to that too. Do you think it's a lot harder now with these really condensed seasons? You only get, say, 9 episodes rather than like the 22 that we used to get.
Yes, it's this is my concern for the new Stargate series, to be perfectly honest. It means you don't get to stumble. And the only way to push boundaries and to try new things is to allow yourself to stumble. I mean, if you think
Exactly.
about that very first season of SG-1, those first few episodes are a little rough and a little like,
Sure.
let me go get my box of crackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think at that stage they already had a few seasons sort of in the bag, didn't they? They'd already
Yes.
signed on for the first couple of seasons, so they had room to play with the story and build the characters and the worlds.
Right, but then
But
you
with
get to like
these-
that, even that 5th or 6th episode, and you're like, "Oh, this is going places, and this is taking chances."
Yes.
So I think Martin and Brad and Joe and their fellow staff writers really have a challenge if they're only going to do 8 to 10 episodes. The Diplomat, huge fan of The Diplomat, for instance. I mean, every one of those episodes is like watching The West Wing meets James Bond. It's amazing, the quality. But I know for a fact how exhausting it is for the writers and the production team, and the millions upon millions of dollars being pumped in.
Yeah.
And they only do 8 episodes every year and a half.
They'd better be solid as rocks.
Oh, they are. I mean,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Diplomat. Have you watched The Diplomat? It's incredible. It really
I've
is like
heard
James
it's great,
Bond meets
yeah.
The West Wing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But I want. Okay, I understand I can't have 22 episodes, but could I have 16 maybe?
Yeah.
I'd be okay with 16.
Lane, what do you think? Where do you find yourself drawn to entertainment right now? Where's the happy medium for you? What do you think is the sweet spot these days with our attention span the way it is and everything else?
Yes.
Well, I'm a binge watcher, so like I love watching
too.
a whole season of a show at once, especially nowadays it's kind of, if you have to wait for a week for a new episode, it can be a little frustrating at times, because you just get real into it. But I've been watching Landman as of recently. Uh, that's kind of been a fun show.
My parents
But
love it.
yeah, I had a question though, actually. How has AI affected kind of writing in Hollywood? Is that kind of
It's
uh,
awful. I
is
mean,
is it, or is it
it's
kind of
awful.
like a night?
I mean, the studios, you got a lot of development people are like, we don't really need you anymore.
Oh, I think
We'll
that that's
just sit with the AI and come up with the story, and then we'll hire you to do the rewrite instead of come up with the original idea. The Writers
accurate that way,
Guild, of
isn't it?
course, is trying to keep that from happening, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Let's be
Yeah.
frank. There's lawsuits going on left and right, but it's not stopping. There's no true legislation in place. And in fact, this big bill that just passed, was part of it was to prevent any legislation on AI for the next 10 years. So,
Wow, I didn't know that.
but
That's
the good
tough.
thing that's happening is that you have that kind of AI, but you also have AI that is helping with automation, for instance. So it is
Mm.
making it more possible for the small indie productions. I mean, you can literally shoot a movie on an iPhone now. You can shoot a movie. So you're having that happen, and you're having a return to the indie production. I mean, that's when I started in the industry, was with New Line Cinema and Miramax, way back in the beginning with Dust Till Dawn and Nightmare on Elm Street and all that. That's coming back now with the little indies, that they don't need the big studio anymore.
Yeah.
And they can do things legitimately. They can take those chances we were talking about and truly be artistic. So there's good and bad going on.
Hmm.
Do you think that it's kind of a good, like almost like a good writing partner, that you're still able to flesh out your ideas, but maybe they'll able to help kind of connect the dots that you struggle with?
I see it as a fourth dimensional search engine, and I use it that way.
Wow.
I have a Claude account, and I use it for my various. I do a lot of alternate history, science fiction type writing, and I will do it for that. Or, like, I have this novel that I'm working on that takes place on a generational ship, and I need to know how many light years is it to this particular planet and what speed of light. And I'll
Mm.
ask all those questions, and time dilation. I'm not going to figure that out. I'm not a physicist, So,
Hmm. Lane, can you hear me? I
Oh
think,
no.
yeah,
yeah, we
Lane's dropped
lost.
out.
we blinked out. He was having difficulty with his video, so I'm going to have him reset it.
Okay.
So Michael is okay. He is running late, so we're going to be having
Okay.
him in 7 or 8 minutes here. I'm just setting everything up here.
Okay, so hang on, everyone. Michael's on his way.
Okay. All right, Darren, are you there? Mr. Sumner, Earth to Mr. Sumner. We are in. There we go.
Sorry, I'm dipping into David Hewlett's live stream to see what he's talking about.
What's he talking
Oh,
about?
yeah, I saw
I
that.
don't know. You didn't let me listen long enough.
Ah. All righty. So Michael is going to be joining us in just a moment here. I'm
That's
going
great.
to reset the stream, and actually, I'm not going to touch the stream. I'm going to let it go, but I am going to put us into test pattern mode so that I can get us ready and cut this together for the actual episode that's going to end up in a minute here. So I appreciate everyone hanging out. We've got almost 500 people in Wormhole Extremists, so it's a red letter day for us. Let's see how long Michael can stick around. Let's see what his availability is. We're going to get to your questions. Lane, oh, he can't hear me. So, but he's cool. So he's good on time. So we're going to just continue to hang, okay?
Sounds
So
good.
Sounds
we will
good.
see you guys in just a minute. And hang tight.
This is so exciting. This has been a very hard secret to keep for the last 18 months, but we can announce today that a brand new Stargate series is coming to Prime Video.
What?
Brad, this shouldn't be news to you.
Oh, right, it isn't, but it is great news.
It is a brand new chapter. It's its own unique chapter in the Stargate universe. So for us, it's incredibly important that obviously everyone watching this Zoom, everyone that's like getting excited about this announcement will love the show.
Thank you for bringing this straight to the fans. Thank you for the Stargate that you've made in the past. And I think I can speak for fandom. Thank you for Stargate in the future as well.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We'll talk soon.
Martin's involved in this?
He sold the idea to the studio.
Now, if the Air Force didn't want it to happen, they wouldn't have let it go this far.
Plausible deniability. In the event of a future breach of security, we'll be able to point to this television program.
Welcome, everyone, to Dial the Gate, the Stargate Oral History Project, episode 300 and something. I don't even know anymore. My name is David Reed. I really appreciate you being here. Michael Shanks, Daniel Jackson in Stargate, SG-1. Hey! Oh, my God. Dude! What fate Stargate?
Did something happen while I was gone?
Man... Can you believe this?
It's great news. It's great news.
Tell us about how you found out. Martin Garrow call you?
I found out I think, what was it, a day or two? A day beforehand. Part of the rollout that's been so neat to me, outside of the way it was done with you guys, which we'll get into, was how it was done with us. And one of the, it's always one of these things that seems like a small detail, but so I get Joe Malazzi to text, sends me a DM on Twitter and asks me if this is still my email and blah blah blah, and I had to text him back to say, did you get hacked? Because I mean that's all he had.
Right? Yeah, he was doing that with us too.
And I'm like, on here, and so I texted him his phone and said, "Did you get hacked?" And he's like, "No, it was me. I'm like expect an email." And I'm like, "Okay," and didn't really ask any questions. It was like whatever. Pictures of his dogs. I don't know. And so we get this email from Martin, and it basically is this beautifully written email that talks about the show coming, the new show coming, and that he wanted everybody that had sort of been involved before to know early and to, because in that way of like, we know you are invested in this.
That's right.
This property, and we know that you feel protective of it and whatever, and we want you to know that you're part of it. You're part of the success of it. You're part of the thing that got us. You're blah blah, and not really blah blah blah, but blah 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 in terms of like the details. And what that, and it's so simple, right? And all that does is it gives you the awareness of like, oh, cool, and it lets you know what his intentions are with the property and so on and so forth. Rechecks in with everybody. And gives them that little tiny little bit of heads up that makes them feel like they're being respected when the thing gets rolled out, so they don't get blindsided by deadline.com with this release,
Right.
and they start emailing him separately too. Part of it is to control that reaction. But part of it is to just let you know, give you the respect of letting you know before the general public does, to, just give you that respect. And you see it with, it's such a minor detail. It may seem unimportant because we're not, part of the property, we're not part of the.
But you are symbols of it.
Project. But that's the thing. We've been ambassadors. We've all been out there doing stuff, and it's just so nice because you see it when it's not done, and you hear when people go to a convention or in a chat, even a podcast or something, and say, "Well, I found out on Twitter,"
Yeah.
blah blah, and it goes so far to be included in that way, to feel like an insider, and that's what's so. Like I said, it's respect, and it, even though, and again, with you guys, your curiosity as to why they decided to include you. I mean, it's so obvious.
For sure.
This property has been kept alive by you guys, and you guys are at the tip of that spear, and without the fans keeping this alive, this IP is just, no offense to it, but Legally Blonde sitting on the shelf. Like the legacy of this, the fans involved in this are part of the legacy of this show, and they're still out there. And you guys have been keeping the light on of this. David with your show, Darren with your show, with the news and all that stuff that you've all, and God bless you all for like hanging in there, waiting like the rest of the world, for news and biting on any kind of like, I don't know, thirst trap clickbait article that comes out that says that, Joe Malazzi's dog has written the script and we're all gonna, come back as pugs on, in a cartoon series, whatever it is that Collider.com or whatever the hell these clickbait sites sort of do. So they're doing that with you guys. They're sort of letting everybody on our end know a little bit early. They're doing it, rolling it out that way, putting the fans first, not the corporation first. Is it's so heartening, and so different. And I remember something so simple. I was talking to some of the cast of Charmed when that sort of reboot or reimagine. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the original either, but anyway, that show, the new show, the new version came out, and there was, probably an out of context interview where one of the cast said the old people or something like that, and these people didn't know that a new version was coming out, and they're the ambassadors for that show out in the world, out at London Film and Comic Con or Wales or something like that, and they're reading this stuff. It's the internet. I mean, it can run around pretty quickly, and so they're getting faced with that kind of thing. And that's what I mean, is that group all of a sudden goes, well, thanks, that's nice, isn't that nice, didn't know about it, and now kind of getting despair, and it's details like that again in the rollout seem small compared, with all the things going on, and especially all the things that are probably on Martin's plate, that he gives that respect and then gives that respect to the fans. So I'm so heartened to see them doing it and doing it right.
Yeah.
And not just them, but also hats off to Amazon Prime. I mean, I don't know if they're out there, but there's some fan out there that was screaming, yeah, what we want is a whole new vision. So hire J.J. Abrams to bring, do Stargate, because everybody that I talked to in the fan world was always saying we got to have, the original creators before, to at least give them first crack at this. And lo and behold, we find out that they're doing just that. And how often does it happen, with bigger properties like Lord of the Rings, that things get rolled out with the original visionaries being ignored, that don't necessarily turn out so well. And I'm not saying that everything's like that. I mean,
but some things are. Yeah.
There's things that happen, but everybody that I've talked to in fan world has sort of said, I hope, the creators are involved in some way, that the original people get some, at least first crack at it. And lo and behold, I can't believe that they listen to that. Because usually they don't.
Darren,
they usually go, thank you, nice kitty,
Darren and I have been levitating for about 10 days now, and we're just coming back down to earth.
My phone blew up, and I was just sitting around minding my own business, and I couldn't believe how many people, not even in the Stargate family, were like, "Hey, what's this about the thing of moves?" And I'm like, it's I slept. Like, you guys have been going hard there. Like, I just caught more sleep than you probably did on my walk over here. Like, you guys are going hard, which is fantastic. Again, and this is why, this is why they reached out to you guys first. I mean, this is
what we've been waiting for.
This is it. We're not gonna pass it up.
You guys were teenagers.
Pretty much.
I was 14 when you said meaning of life stuff, and I was like, oh hell, this is gonna be going for years.
Yeah,
I knew then when I saw it in first run syndication. I knew it with that script. So, Diana,
and it's exactly what you described, Michael. Martin Garrow told us basically after he gave us the news and said, this is how we want to roll it out to go to the fans first. He said, we've now got like 50 people to contact. And it's not because you want to go back to the Stargate cast and crew and, necessarily give everybody a job, but just the respect of letting everybody know that this is coming and this is important to you. This is important to all of us. Be aware of it.
They were a part of what made it.
You guys are, for better or worse, brand ambassadors for the rest of your life because of what the show has meant to you and to all of us.
It'll be on your epitaph.
I take it as a super encouraging sign from Martin and from Amazon.
How many other like other creators would know that that's an important thing? Like, if you're handed, like, these guys, that's the other thing that's so great about, and Brad and Joe, being part of the process as well. They've got skin in the game, and who else would think to do that? Like a new creator who doesn't know us wouldn't, maybe would throw up. I don't think so. Would hunt down all those emails and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, no way. Because they don't know us. So they don't care if they piss us off. Like, it's or if they just rub us the wrong way. They don't know. It could be a new toy for them. They're like, oh, great. I will, I want to do it this way and whatnot. So it's like I said, I've been very buoyed by the way that this has come about, which also makes me very excited for how it's going to come out.
There's a lot to be said for Amazon, whoever the executive was over there, how they nurtured the relationship first with Martin, who wrote the pilot, 18 months ago is really when negotiations started, and how they are trusting Martin and Brad and Joe and the rest of the team that's being brought in now to know what is best for the show to truly succeed. They want the show to succeed versus trying to fit this square peg into a round hole. Yeah. So that just increases the optimism like so much. This is just, I mean, and watching the three of them talking when in that video is hilarious because they're all like little kids that have just been released into FBS Sports, into this huge toy store that clearly is going to be significantly budgeted, because you watch Brad talk about visual effects and what's possible. I mean, he didn't say it, but the cube is, of course, what they're going to use. You know, this is going to have support from the distributor. It's going to have support from the fans, and it's going to do great. It's exciting.
I mean, that's the thing. It's exciting, and it's excited. I'm excited to see them excited, and Brad certainly knows the difference between, you know, not just the budget that will be included probably for, you know, I'm assuming because this company has certainly deeper pockets than MGM on its own ever did, and the technology. I'm excited by that. Like 20 years later, what we can do? What? Like I wouldn't even have the foggiest idea about
anything
visual effects on this scale. So it's exciting, and like you said, it's exciting to see them excited because they know. I cracked a joke to Martin about about ideas. And I said, it sounds expensive. And I quoted our old line producer, because that's everything that he would say. And it's not, you know, like you said, it fits better. And I'm excited to see what this looks like in this kind of world today too. And I'm old enough to be able to say that. My God. Oh, I started out on that show, and I was the youngest person, you know, other than the PAs, I was the youngest person on that set. And here's old man Shanks saying, when I was a boy,
you really were, you really were one of the parents of the franchise. If you look at the original cast, and of course the staff writers and the producers and all that, you're the ones who hatched this enormous egg that just keeps cracking open and revealing new layers. It's great. We're grateful as fans.
It is so neat. It's so neat to see it get to this phase. Who would have thunk back in those days? But now that it's here, like I said, it's happening with the right people. And I think the best way, like I know, just even the stuff that I've read, I can't even imagine what's out there. That this is a great time period for a week when it's like telling your kids that COVID's over and that we're gonna have Christmas again. And everybody's freaking out.
It's a catharsis.
Because it's like, well, we're gonna have Christmas, and then all the speculation starts, and then a day later they're like, well, I wonder what I'm gonna get. I really want this, and I really want that, and I really want this. So I better not get this. You know, where all the kvetching and the speculation turns into toxicity and all the other stuff that I know. Listen, it's part of the package. We've been doing this, you know, since the modern formation of the internet, that these things exist, and there will be, you know, people with expectations, demands, even entitlement, and yada yada yada. But
I think you're going to see less of that, Michael, than you think you are. We saw that with the previous efforts, but I think people are so at a point where they really want.
Well, you have to remember, Diana, when we did this, when we first started this, there wasn't even Yahoo groups. So, like, as much as you say we'll see less of it, we'll see more enthusiasm. We're just going to see more stuff. Period.
Yeah, we're going to have to learn to filter a lot of it ourselves, because
no, absolutely. When I watched the series, I watched it after it aired, and because I was commissioned to write the novels, I deliberately stayed off social media because I knew it was going to be toxic. So I stayed away from it to form my own opinions. But right now, people are so over hungry for Stargate that they're like, they have been starved for so long, like the kid kept from Christmas for 5 years, that they're like, you're only going to give me a little tree? That's okay. It's still a little tree. I'll take anything at this point.
There is going to be some gratitude, for sure. For sure. There's going to be some gratitude. And like I said, the best part about this is knowing that hit or miss with an episode or some ideas or whatever, knowing that for sure that the plane is above the target and knows where it is, rather than going, what are they thinking? I don't know what the hell this is about. That knowing that they know what this is supposed to sound like, they know what this is supposed to look like. It's just a matter of getting there, and how you get there. That we'll wait and see, and yeah, I'm just excited by that. But I know that these guys are above the target. May not be a laser guided bomb. It might be an old school B-52, but it's Although I will say this, and I cannot stress this enough, that I don't know. There are growing pains, for any new show. I don't know if people really kind of realize some of the just the kinks that got to be worked out of new people doing, because there's always going to be new people. There's going to be a new cast. There's going to be, all sorts of different new writers and production people and things like that. That there's going to be some hiccups, because I don't know if anybody remembers SG-1, but our first season is not fondly remembered as our strongest season. And we had 22 episodes to muck around with. So whatever they do, if there's some natural hiccups, some leeway might be granted. I remember the days of Hathor and what is that? What is everybody's favorite?
Emancipation.
Come on. What's that?
Emancipation.
Yeah.
Yes, Emancipation.
I love Catherine Powers. I love her. I want to and Diana does too. We're going to put that out there in the universe. But you have to figure things out. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Listen, she went on to write some of the great episodes too, and then over on Star Trek, she created Garrick.
That's
right.
True.
But that luxury of 22 episodes, I sadly highly doubt they're going to have that luxury.
Oh heck yeah, and that's the other thing that is different. And that's the only part that I just hang a question mark on is what's it going to look like in a 8 to 10 episode format? Because it's going to. I don't know that. I'm just going. I'm looking at Prime. They don't do anything more than 4 to 8. I don't imagine that they're going to. What do they do? What is Rings of Power? Not that they're going to give $1 billion to do the first season, but
I think Maisel was 12, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think it was a dozen. So we'll see. Part of it, I guess, will be budgeting. I think more is better. But I think, as you say, and we talked about this earlier about they have to have the right to stumble. You guys had the right to stumble. And you eventually created this extraordinary experience that here we are years later talking about it.
Yeah, and some of it, you recognize the pros and cons of having a longer episode order, like you sort of like I don't know exactly what you'd call filler in our early seasons, like what's filler episodes, right? Like we had, I think, $6 million for the first 2 hours that they put in, and then we kind of had to tap the brakes because we had to make that money back when we were doing some bottle shows in the episodes that happened after that, because we were trying to we overspent over here and we're trying to make it back over here. So one of the things that does, of course, is it allows actors to have these character driven bottle shows kind of stuff, which people sort of go, well, it's not really an action adventure when you're standing in a broom closet talking to each other, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, this is how you get to know the characters. Those are the things that, allow you to understand who these people are that we're going to be rooting for when the ships start crashing and the blasts start happening and things like that. Like for every action sequence, there's Daniel and O'Neill sitting around O'Neill's house talking about ex-wives and whatnot, and those moments to breathe, to relate to them as people are hugely important. So some of that filler turns into a boon, especially for a show like Stargate that is all about found family and whatnot. If you've got a short order and a sprint from episode 1 to episode 10, let's just say, I don't know, that you've got a lot of story ground to cover. That sometimes what can get lost in there is the characters interacting to the degree that we want to give a crap.
Exactly. The thing is, conversely, you got Brad Wright, wwho writes a clip show better than any other writer I've ever witnessed in the history.
Absolutely. And again, yeah, but boom. That's the thing is, that for with someone like Brad there to do an Abyss, to do an episode that's two guys standing around in a room debating about suicide and ascension or whatever you want to call that.
And you're on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, there's
with
somebody
shoes being
there
thrown through you.
Yeah, but also again, you can't necessarily do that without getting to know the people beforehand and caring about them when they do talk about this stuff. So, that's the only part that I just don't know how Stargate reacts to that kind of, short term, story. I certainly know in the longer run and how, and that's tricky. I mean, these guys. The thing about it is. And people need to understand that because of all of the parameters, it's kind of like the rollout, right? It's like they threaded that camel hair through so many different eyes to get to this point, both through the corporation, giving them that opportunity and then doing it all right. And you're like, wow. I don't know if you guys play the game Geometry Dash. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's a video game. My son plays it, and it's the most maddening thing in the world. It's like a maze that happens at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's dumb. I wouldn't play it because I would literally blow my brains out because I wouldn't literally, figuratively. I would be upset. I would be very frustrated playing this game because it is like it's like a maze, but you are a ship traveling through this like old school Defender or old school Stargate, traveling through at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you have to hit every beat exactly right to get through this maze as you're traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I look at him and say, why you play this? This is crazy. And that's how I think that with this, that all these little details, these notes to hit, these beats to honor, to make this happen right, have to be just kind of so like you just the description that everybody's expecting. It's gonna be for science fiction fans, non-science fiction fans, Stargate fans, old school Stargate fans, and for all these people. And like, of course, that's what they're gonna try and succeed. What has to go into that? Like, figure that Rubik's Cube out. So there's gonna be some. I just, like I said, I'm so buoyed by who's doing it and how they're doing it so far that they're already into the maze and they're already working all those and playing all those notes. And I'm so happy. I'm so excited for them to see what pops out on the other side. I mean, but it's a lot. It's a lot of things to hit. It's a lot of, eyes of needles to stick that hair through.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one of the upsides, though, Michael, is that. When you did the Showtime episodes and then the Sci-Fi Channel episodes, those were like 42 to 44 minutes long. Typically now, streaming shows that are an hour long literally are an hour long. They're like 55 minutes, 58 minutes, even an hour and 5 minutes. So And then the other thing is, when you did those shows, was the whole season written ahead of time before you shot, or partly and then on the way?
I think that they had major plot points outlined for the seasons that they would do in the writers' room, but those scripts were being written on the fly. Like, that's why you were both successful and unsuccessful with a large part of our improvisation, because sometimes we were shooting something that was on the day, that we got dialogue and then this follow Rick, wherever we're going with this, here we go.
So a lot of today, what they're doing with these 8 to 10 episode seasons is they're like a feature film. They're writing out completely the whole season, and then they shoot out locations. Which
I've done a couple
of
things for that are all I wouldn't even get scripts for some of these shows. I would get just my scenes, and when I did a series called Altered Carbon, another science fiction show on Netflix.
Great show.
I never saw a script. I never saw a script. I remember I was on set with Anthony Mackie and David Cubitt and a few of the other actors playing these characters. And I didn't know the mythology. I didn't read the books or anything like that. So I didn't know what the heck was going on in this thing. And we're just shooting it. And I've just read the scenes. I got them, a week beforehand, and I've read the scene that we're shooting, blah, blah. And I didn't know what the hell was going on because I'm not part of the larger part of the story either. So I'm just seeing and this is how secretive they are too about some of this stuff. And I remember just saying out loud, I said, I can't wait to watch this to find out what the hell we're all doing. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to proceed when it comes to the actors, where they don't even know what the hell they're like working on, kind of thing. And apparently Amazon is quite secretive about their processes and whatnot. So in terms of keeping the audience in the dark and whatnot, that they're a tech company first, not necessarily an entertainment company. So
that's right.
They like a little bit of secrecy on their end, or love a little bit of secrecy on their end. So
I don't think this will be like Marvel, where you have to go into a room and like read it on an iPad and then sign away the blood of your first child. I don't think it's going to be that severe.
I played a small part in what was Neil Blomkamp's Elysium, his movie Elysium.
That was great.
And I was just Neil started off. He was a visual effects guy on Stargate, and so I got offered the small part on the show for giggles from Neil. And I never met Neil when he was a visual effects guy on Stargate, because they all worked in a separate room than the rest of us. And I had to go to the studio, great studio, strangely enough, before I accepted the part and read the script at the studio. And it's like sign the thing, read the script, and then leave and never see it again before I agreed to take the part. That was how it went down. It wasn't like, here, you come in, once you've taken the part, you're come in and read it this way. It was before I even took it, so I had to go down to do that, to take the part, to find out what I was doing.
Diana,
it wasn't much, but it was still.
Thank you so much, Diana, for joining us. Writer, producer, SG-1 author from the book series The Drift and Four Dragons. Michael, if you ever have a chance to read fan fiction, this is not fan fiction. This is not fan fiction. This is
these are like episodes. This is MGM approved.
What I was trying to get to, Diana, if you have ever had a chance to read fan fiction, wait until you see the caliber of these novels, because some people think that official tie-in novels are fan fiction, and it's not the case at all. So I was trying to scrub that away, Diana.
Some of the novels. Some of the novels I've looked at. Some of them I have in my house.
Yeah.
I have some of them.
She has written two.
Big in them,
and they're fantastic. They really are. We're going to make sure that you get them if you don't have them.
But Diana, the fan fiction I get sent is different.
Oh, I know.
By that I mean,
I know. Yeah, I've seen certain pictures of you that you've had to block out in large squares. Some people out there who are fine artists think very finely of all of you,
and have great Photoshop skills too.
That's
Yay
right.
For you. Yay for you.
Gosh, guys,
Michael,
thank you.
It was great to meet you.
You
Take
too,
care.
Daddy. Take care. We'll hopefully see you again. All right,
Michael. Realistically, how much time do you have?
Whatever you need. I am yours.
You're good for an hour?
I'm good for an hour. Let's go.
I have to step out in about 5 minutes.
Okay, Darren, wrap up with your thoughts with Michael here. Oh my God, YOLO!
Before you bring the girls in, I've got to step
bring
out.
the girls in. Wait a minute, what the hell?
Hey, this is a show.
Dancing Girls.
You're not on Dial the Gate. You're on Wormhole Extremists.
Yeah, this is what we do, baby.
No, but Michael, I'm just resonating with everything that you're saying about the industry and how things have worked for you and how things are changing with these big budget streaming shows. But what it makes me want to say before I dip out of here is, as much as the fans have worked to keep Stargate alive and the fan community has continued to rally for 15 years, it's also, I really think, a testament to what you guys made back in the day, because a lot of shows just go away. A lot of shows just die.
That's right.
And it's like, oh yeah, that one was from the 80s. I remember watching that show. But instead, it's on DVD, it's on Blu-ray, and now it's on streaming, and there is a new generation of viewers who are coming in and discovering.
We in my house have a
the quality of the stuff that you guys made.
we in our house have a direct comparative because Lex's show Andromeda was around, in the later phase of the first 5 years of ours.
Yes.
That's how I met doing her show. And they're not, they're in that category of, they don't get invited out to conventions or anything like that. They're kind of, I think they just, for the first time as a cast, got invited to a convention this year. And so the idea that the legacy, the fan legacy of this project, that of the Stargate name brand and is still resonating, and it's still young people because people are introducing their kids to it. All this hubbub, my own son said to me, so, and he's never watched anything I'm in. He won't watch it purposely because I'm in it, because I ruin it for him. Because he just goes, oh, that's Dad, whatever. Thanks for my, my suspension of disbelief. And he finally said, so was this show like a big deal or something? Yeah. And I said, well, it's interesting. You should maybe watch the movie. And so we finally watched the movie 2 days ago for the first time because of all the hubbub about it. So if nothing else, the continued excitement, because he didn't know about any of this stuff from my angle. He was reading it himself on the internet. And he went, so what is this whole Stargate thing?
He has to find it himself. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
he might watch it now that Dad's not in it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He watched the movie because I'm not in it. Yeah. I don't know if he'll watch it anymore.
But that may be his end, Darren. He may be able to buttress a suspension of disbelief around this.
It's contagious. He loves all the action stuff, Marvel and he's into some of these anime and things like that. I mean, he's older now. He's 19. He's not a kid anymore. But it's given him the excitement to, which he would, like I said, he wouldn't touch anything I did with a 10-foot pole. And he was like, check this out then. So kind of excited.
Thank you, Michael, for being here. I'm gonna go. I just watched my wife pull away, actually, so I might have been left behind. I'm gonna go see what's going on. Let me ask you this question, and then I'll watch it offline. Okay. You've got got a new cast coming in.
Yeah.
People are gonna hopefully fall in love with a brand new iteration of Stargate, and I imagine this time a few years down the road where that new cast is showing up at conventions alongside you, what advice are you giving them, and how are you bringing them into the family as a former cast member?
That's a great question, Darren.
It's so different, but it really is, and I don't know the answer to it. I think that because it's new territory for us as well, in terms of, like, I remember going to a convention early days with Elena Huffman when they were getting a lot of flack. And somebody asked her, was in the front row at Dragon Con, asked her direct, like some sort of pointed question, like why is your show so dumb? Something like that.
Yeah. And how dare you make a show I don't like?
Yeah. And
yeah, they were really
so there's going to be both. There's going to be what these people are going to be doing is they're jumping on a moving train. It's not like any other thing that they could be on, and depending on their experience, I mean, they might be equipped, they might have come from something else or some other franchise that let them know that there's a lot of crap talking out there, and there's a lot of negative. If anybody that doesn't know, there's a lot of negativity on social media, probably. But my advice is just to remain even keeled about the whole thing, about all of the, you're going to have people that are going to tell you you're the best thing since sliced bread, and you're going to have people that tell you should get out of this business and never work again. For actors, strangely enough, it's kind of a common thing. So we get told we should get out of this business all the time. So for a lot of actors, it's not a big deal, but it still hurts sometimes. So you have to remain even keeled, that the best of the best is not the best, and the worst of the worst is not the worst, and just keep that even keel. And that would be my advice. Like I said, there's not too much advice you can get, and it will be situationally specific. I think part of the backlash of something like Universe was because people were jarred by the difference of filmmaking and tone, but they just come from Atlantis. They just come from SG-1, and so their backlash was fresh. It's like, this isn't my show, whatever, without giving it a chance. And now I think that not only do we have people that are genuinely excited, and they're going to tune in, even if it's to do this, and then there's going to be new people. There are people that have never heard of this darn franchise that are going to get a new show. And that's the desire to appeal to everyone.
Exactly.
That's the tent we're trying to build here.
Yeah. Expand.
Yeah. And because there's new, like it's been a minute. It's been 14 years since SGU went dark. It's been 14 years. Yeah. It's almost been 20 since we shot that last episode of SG-1 before we did the movies the following year. Almost been 20 years. Next year it'll be 20 years. So just to keep even keeled about the reactions to everything, and know that the best part is you're joining this big family that is loving and supportive, but also kind of, there's some Thanksgivings where we sit around going, well, I disagree with that, and shipper this, and woke that, and blah blah blah, all these different opinions, and that, but we're still a family.
That's
that even
right.
that the drive-by commenting on like I said, on collider.com is not part of the family. It's the people why they came to Gate World and to Dial the Gate to talk about this. That's the family. That's the old school family. Yeah. And we're welcoming some new babies into the world, and we hope that we prepare them appropriately with the right wisdom. But it's exciting.
Darren,
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Darren.
Great to see you.
You too.
Michael, this is...
Go get your wife.
Yeah, that's right. Wait for me. Michael, this is Evie. She is one of my two co-hosts on Wormhole Extremists.
Hi, Evie.
Hi, Michael.
You look familiar. Have we met before?
No, we haven't met before.
She's got one of those faces.
Do I?
No,
I don't know. What does that even mean?
She's going to be providing the fan questions from the chat. We've got 1,000 people watching, Michael.
Oh, fantastic!
So I appreciate you sticking.
Do.
So
this is a record for this channel. So thank you so much.
By 10. So Evie, do you have a question for Michael before we start? And I bring in our surprise guest.
I actually do. I do have a question for Michael.
Okay.
So mine is, if you imagine Daniel Jackson in 2025, where do you see him? Like, would he be like consulting at the SGC? Do you think he might have moved on to something else, like maybe in the private sector, gone back to academia? Maybe he's a curator of an Egyptian museum?
I've had a lot of time to think about that question, and there was something in the original pilot that was when they're sitting around in the temple where the Stargate is in a pilot, and they're and they drink Scar's moonshine.
Yes.
And O'Neill says, Daniel, what have you been teaching these kids? And I can't help but think, like, I have this vision in my head that if O'Neill retired and, Carter went on to be a general somewhere else or something like that, would Daniel still be going with another SG team through the gate? And I went, I don't know if he would or not. He might have actually gone away and formed his own society and become like this warlord on some planet somewhere. I don't know.
Just so long as he's not teaching English as a second language.
As much as I could see him being like a consultant at the SGC or something like that, or traveling in a starship or something like that with teams that are still adventuring, I can also see him forming his own group and going out separately, still exploring. He's not going to just sit and build camp and take over a world. He's not that kind of warlord. He's going to go out and he's still exploring whatever he's doing. He's still out there, answering and asking questions. And that's how I always love to think of him, that he wouldn't stop. He's the ultimate, adventurer. Whatever it is, but the how, I don't know. Like I said, that's my fan fiction right there. Please don't send it to me.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you,
along with photos, please don't send it to me.
At this age, at this point in his life, do you think he would still want to be a dad?
He never really had great experiences as a child, so I'm not entirely sure
if he ever wanted to be to begin with. Okay.
Well, yeah,
any
I don't
desire
know.
To be. Yeah.
It's possible. Like I can visualize that could happen. Like from the original movie, I could see him being on that planet and being a dad. Now after so much water under the bridge,
I know
it would take a very specific circumstance for him to be a dad. But I know that because of Michael, that I can visualize how he would be a dad, but whether or not he had very different life experiences than Michael did as well. So I'm not entirely sure if he would embrace it as much as Michael would. So
well,
no, good question though.
And it's on purpose because I have a blast from your past waiting for you here.
Oh my goodness.
Let me bring him in. Let's just hope he doesn't turn into a tornado.
Hello.
Is this Lane Gates?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Speaking of fatherhood, right?
Oh my
good,
God.
man.
How are you, buddy?
This is the closest thing that Daniel had to a son.
Yeah. You know what's so funny about that? You know how you and I talked about photos, David?
Yeah.
About whether or not I could have those photos. So I went digging, right?
Yeah.
And this is not a setup. This is completely spontaneous.
Oh no! What have you got?
Digging and found an archive. And hang on a second.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. Strangely enough.
Oh my gosh! Bring that up to the camera here.
See.
Oh wow!
Wow.
That's us.
That's so funny. I got that same photo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's us from Absolute Power in the Richmond Sand Dunes during the third. I had no idea that they were bringing you. That's so funny.
That's crazy. You have that.
It's creepy. I just took it off my fridge, Lane. Find me all the time. You've grown into such a handsome young man.
Well, thank you.
Lane, do you have any?
It was a long time ago. I was definitely a kid back then.
Yes, yes. What are you up to now? Forgive us. We're just going to talk, okay?
No, that's why he's here. That's Michael. If you've got time, let's hang.
Yeah, let's do it. What's going on? What are you up to?
I am a heavy equipment operator in the oil fields of northern Canada. So
you're kidding me. Whereabouts?
I just came from just a little south of Grand Prairie.
Dude, my first job was working for my uncle's rat hole drilling company in Grand Prairie.
Oh wow.
So to give you an idea of my familiarity with that line of work,
they
still. But my uncle passed away last year. My uncle Pat passed away last year, and so I went up for the funeral. Posted a few photos on Instagram on my way because I hadn't been that way for a long time. But they're still up there in Grand Prairie with the rat hole drilling company. They've done well. That's good work.
It's a pretty busy area out there for sure. It gets cold.
Yeah, I was gonna say and bugs.
Yeah,
I remember bugs and cold. Yeah, I mean I was there in the summertime, but where we would go when we would take the drill and head up further north was just like, where are we going? Like, it's talk about feeling like you're at the edge of the world. Like, I can't imagine. How long have you been there?
Well, I've been working out there for about 15 years now, so I'll kind of all.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so.
Yeah.
And where do you live specifically? Do you live in a
give us an address there exactly? So.
yeah.
Sure.
Well, you live in Kelowna.
Yeah.
So you just head up there for work. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. We do a 20-day hitch, and then we get about 10 days off. So, and then we get spring breakup off, which is about 2 months. So working about 10 months out of the year. But
God, I remember those days. But I used to work. What was it? 10 on, 5 off. I think was the schedule I had.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Wow.
I'm running heavy equipment, so it's like playing in a big sandbox all day long.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Michael, ask him how many kids he has.
How many kids you got, Lane?
I got 3. Yeah.
Oh my Lord. What are their ages?
14, 9, and 1. So a little bit of a gap in between them all, but
oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're older. My son's older than I was when I was in Stargate. Yeah.
I'm so fucking old. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture you with a 14-year-old. That's crazy.
Right? Yeah. Good times.
Thank you, David, for this episode of This Is Your Life.
Well, Lane and I have become friends. I have had a chance to get to know him, trying to get him on over the past couple of years here. And when we scheduled you, it seemed perfect. Depending on his schedule, like he said, he may not have been available. And so I just reached out to him, and it fell on that time. And I really wanted you to see him. So
yeah, I literally got off work yesterday and had the day free today, so it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
So good to see you, buddy.
So he's
grown.
He's gonna hang with us if you don't mind.
I have grown, yeah, for sure.
I'm glad.
Lane,
yeah, not by much, unfortunately.
You good to hang out, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Evie,
yes.
Thank you for being so awesome in Perth, hanging out with us at 0 dark 30.
My pleasure.
Thank you to our audience of 955 who are hanging out in the wormhole.
We bumped some of them off.
So, this is usually our rewatch channel.
Oh, it wasn't something I said.
No, if you guys enjoy rewatching live Stargate SG-1 in Atlantis, we're doing so tomorrow, seasons 8 and seasons 1 respectively. So we hope that some of you stick around because we
have a good time.
Hang out. So we will be posting that live stream tomorrow. Michael, thank you for this so much. We've got so many fan questions for you. Let's hear what they have to say.
All right, hit me.
All right, you keep me in the loop on when you want to give like a 10-minute warning, okay?
Yeah, for sure. When do you want to, not that it matters, but do you want to see those pictures ever of the, or do you want to save that for another day?
Let's hang on to that because I want them scanned, or at least you've taken the photos of the photos, okay?
Sure, yeah, well, I mean, I can send them to you.
Oh, sure. Perfect, then let's go ahead and, but we have you and I were not anticipating this, so let's hang on to the photos.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot here. We don't need to talk.
I'm going to bring
that.
you back. Let's do that. Thank you so much for digging through those. We will use them.
No problem. I get it.
Evie.
I get it. This is hot off the press. So.
Oh, I know, Evie.
All right. You ready, Michael?
I'm ready.
Some questions.
They're not trivia.
Okay, so we got first question is from Mama Knox of Follow the Yellowgate Road.
Okay.
And she says, because you are able to say your lines at 6,000 million words per minute, have you ever got so tongue-tied that it has created a total word train crash on set? And if so, are there bloopers available?
Oh boy, I wouldn't want to see those bloopers. I'm sure there are. I think to this day, because especially in the first season of the show, during Emancipation of all things, we were filming by this creek for a scene, and so we had to ADR the whole thing. And it was one of my first ADR sessions that I saw myself on camera speaking the words, and I saw for the first time how quickly I speak. I went, oh my God, who is this asshole? Because I have to match it now, right? And I'm, now I'm relaxed and I'm in the studio and I'm like, wait a minute,
dug your own hole
really fast.
Yeah.
And I think it was as simple as the line was, Mongol women might have been the legendary Amazons. But I said it, Mongol women might have been the legendary Amazon. And all it came out whenever I would do was Mongol woman, and it took me 16. I think my record was like 16 to 18 tries to try and match my motor.
You have to repeat it.
Yeah, because you have to match. It was camera's right on your face, like the edit is right on your face, and you have to like make it sync it up, right? And so I went, Jesus Christ, and I realized what an a-hole I must be to try and match in looping or whatever. And I curse myself every time I go in for looping where I do big exposition passages and have to match them because I go, oh, this guy, like it's somebody else, right? Like this guy, shut up. So yes, I don't know if there's bloopers from the first season. I'm sure they exist somewhere, but that was my record, was 18 tries in looping for Mongol women might have been, and it seems like now I can say it. Why do I even remember that line, David? Because it was trauma.
embedded in your
that's the
memory.
thing.
That
So
particular looping session.
Elizabeth Dennehy talks about when they shot Best of Both Worlds on TNG. She came in the first day thinking that she would have time to have her lines prepared, and she didn't. And so she talked about, projections suggest that the Borg cube like this one can function effectively even if 78% of it were inoperable. And she said that the words went in through sheer terror. And they've stayed with her all these years, and that's just what happens.
Wow.
So, Lane, do you have the document?
Yes, I agree.
I do. I'm just looking at it right now.
So, Evie, Lane is going to help us. So, do you see
Lane,
do you see the text in blue?
I do.
But does Lane see the text in blue, boy?
The text in blue.
Under questions for Michael, if you scroll down.
It's what page is that? Page 3.
Page 3. It says questions for Lane, and then questions for Michael.
There we go. Perfect. Tim SGC says, you see it, buddy?
Tim SGC says?
Yes. Well, Tim
It just says
SGC.
Tim
underneath
SGC.
underneath the Mama Knox, where it says red, where it's red.
Yeah.
The one that's blue, they're going to be yours.
They don't look blue on mine. They're just black.
Oh, well, that's
Lockwatchers.
weird.
If the producers stick with canon, as
Oh,
it has
that's
been-
Lockwatcher. Go up one to Tim SGC.
I don't see a Tim SGC.
That's really strange. Okay, Michael, Tim SGC says Daniel has some hefty situations with mythology, the afterlife, ascension. How did you approach balancing his scientific rationality with his spirituality? Is Daniel's spiritual journey complete?
Oh my God.
I mean, he's been through, like he says to Charles Shaughnessy, I've been around, which is one of the best lines from the entire show. He's been through the proverbial washing machine. How do you think he feels about? Obviously, he's going to be more jaded about the universe now. That's certainly how you were able to express it. But what do you think he feels about the path that is possible for a mortal? And do you think that there is any wonder left in him?
Oh, I think there's lots of wonder left in him. There's no question about that. That never left. I think that there's some cynicism when it comes to people. But that's always what's driven, I think, the core of the character has been based in some sort of morality that, borders on preachy sometimes, but for the most part is about the difference between good and evil. And I think that his morality sorts out the pieces. But I think the sense of wonder never left. So, I mean, I would file them in two different categories. That his spirituality, his sense of morality is what drives him to continue to search, in that idealistic kind of way. And that, leads to exploration, which leads to wonder. So I think there's lots of wonder left in that guy.
For sure. Yeah. Evie, can you ask casually Sandra's question here, if I keep from deleting it?
Yes, I was going to say, it just disappeared. Okay, so casually Sandra asks, have you spoken with any of the other cast, not Lexa, obviously, about the new show?
It's so new. I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I have not spoken with any of the other actors from any of the shows about this. It's so fresh that I think everybody's processing it in their own way. Whether it be to whatever, not me, or ooh, I can't wait, in that fan kind of way. But no, I've not spoken to anybody else.
Yeah, it really is
what their take is on it. So
it's been a bit of a whirlwind.
It's extremely fresh, and so I really appreciate you even answering those questions at this point, because everything is up in the air. There's always a potential for work, and it's like, what do you say at this point? There's always politics. So the fact that you're coming on this week, thank you. So Lane,
actually, I shouldn't. Let me correct that. I have talked to one of the other cast members. She lives in the same house as me. She's very excited too.
Alexa, what'd you think about it? It's great. It's good. It's good. She likes it.
No, she was very excited. She was very excited to hear, because again, it's been a huge part of our lives. Our family excluded, meaning our children excluded, because they keep hearing this word when they came to a couple conventions with us this year. They know about this thing. This thing from Grandpa Dad's past that that he keeps naming about, and so they're aware of it, but they don't know what the heck it is. They haven't watched it. They're not, like I said, my children aren't interested in watching Dad on the screen. They've seen enough of his ass all fucking day. So, but yeah, I think it's the excitement. It's been a part of our lives for a long time, and it's just exciting for when we go talk to fans and stuff, and see how passionate and in the last few years thirsty, my God, for a new show of some kind, and asking all those questions, because even at enthusiastic conventions, the hardcore fans, they run out of questions, man. They heard all it. They've heard of all of our BS and stories and anecdotes, and chasing the bear, just Chris Judd chasing me up the hill and all that, that kind of. They all heard all that stuff already. They want to know. They want something new. They want to. Grandpa, tell us a new story. Stop boring us with that old shit, right? And so we want new stories to tell them, even if it's just to relate to them about what we think about it. It'll be interesting to see with fandom, like I said, the announcement of Christmas has come. It'll be interesting to see how composed everybody is over the pure thirst for information about it, as this thing kind of crawls forward at TV production pace, which is never quick in terms of if you want to watch the damn thing. I mean, they haven't even got a production office set up. They haven't got a location. They haven't got anything. So it's like, it'll be interesting to see how many people soil themselves with anticipation over the next, potential year and a half before it actually comes out.
I probably shouldn't say this, Michael, but Meta reached out to me a day after the announcement was done, and they were wanting to enable some security, increased security for my account, and give me a customer service number and everything else. And I looked into it, and it was a scam. And I had never seen anything like this before. So I am already getting targeted.
Right.
I'd never seen anything like that before. And it was like, okay, I consider myself on notice that, I have to be a little bit more protective of my digital footprint. So it's like those things. It's like that. That's it. Lane, do you have another one for us?
Yeah, so C German B, with our beloved OG producers on board and them saying it will be Stargate, just done differently, what do you hope to see them honoring from our beloved series? That's a great question.
Oh boy, what would I like to see?
What do you hope to see? Yeah.
Do you want them to resurrect the Asgard at some point? If we do this for a few years going forward, we have the Vanir in another galaxy with their DNA, and everyone's inside of this little box in the Odyssey.
Well, the Michael in me goes, yeah, sure, but the Thor in me says, yes, you better resurrect me, damn it. I'm an important part of this franchise, and I don't want to lie in a box for the next. And I saw Thor. I saw him. He was in London. Somebody owns that puppet.
Oh, they brought him out.
They brought him out for us to take some photos with. And I'm like, I know this guy. So yeah, of course. I think, yeah. I mean, listen. There's so many things.
Did you get a little emotional when you saw it? Was that like, or was it just like, hey, it's the puppet? Like, how do you feel?
Rick was with me,
that?
so I swear to God, Rick was with me, so he loves that puppet more than anything.
Yeah.
Because that's his favorite acting partner on the show. Yeah. Like, never mind me, never mind Amanda, never mind, some of the great guest stars we had. That puppet was his favorite acting partner on the show.
So it's like, Thor, buddy, get away, Michael.
Exactly, like this. He's mine. I'm taking pictures with him. So he loves that guy, and I mean that sincerely, because that guy does exactly what he's told.
One of the best actors for sure.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I apologize. I derailed the question. If there was like an element that they could take from the past to feather into the present.
Well, I think that there's
what do you think is
there's so much. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a real, like, I think that there's nothing that is so urgent or crucial from past shows. I mean, I know that people are wanting to know what happened to the Atlantis.
And Destiny, yeah.
Yeah, and what happened to Destiny and all that stuff. So those are real kind of like dangling threads. Like we're kind of like, whatever happened to the team? Like, it's not like they were in jeopardy like the way that the Destiny crew was when that show concluded. So there's no like unresolved, deep-seated, I need to see more of this desperately, like storyline for SG-1 that, they're going to haul out a lot. I'm sure that they're going to reference a ton of things, even if nothing else for expository purposes or for fan service, and I know that if it's fan service, it'll be done as expository, but hopefully it'll be in context that is required, and I know that they'll do that. But there's no real one thing that I want to just see more of. But yeah, like I said, Thor wants to come out of the box and come back and play. I'd love to see what we do with something like Thor if the visual effects range is so good now that we could make that happen. Because we used a puppet for a reason, right? Like the technology wasn't that great.
Not until you could do it with Terrell, and Craig Vandenbigler was a visual effects genius. With Heimdall.
Yeah, but could you do that whole thing CGI now? I don't know. In terms of like really like make it effective. I don't know. But like I said, Thor wants to come out and play, but it's not tops on my priority list. I mean, I'm just excited to see what new stuff they're going to come up with. You know.
Mm.
So I have no burning desire for something from the past. I need it now.
Evie, speaking of.
The red question?
Yes.
Oh, okay. This is from PCV Driving Inspector.
Wait a second
Michael.
here. Yes, yes.
Yep, that's okay.
Yep.
They say, "Hi, Michael, big fan. You were my first celeb crush as a teen." Their question is, what or which actor from the Star Trek universe would you like to see in a new Stargate show?
Because you do cross paths with a lot of them, so.
Yeah.
Which actor from the Star Trek universe would I like to see on
that hasn't yet?
Stargate show, yeah.
Who do you think would be a good fit?
Geez.
I think that Doug Jones would be brilliant.
I was not expecting that one.
I'd
love to see Patrick
elegant.
Stewart. That's selfish.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Patrick Stewart just because I'm a big fan, and I've met him at a couple of things, and then I saw a couple of plays that he did when I was in London, and I'd love to work with him. So that's my selfish perspective. I mean, I think in you could also get William Shatner to come play, I don't know, President of the United States for an episode, and that'd be fun.
Yeah, the Hayes administration is over, so yep.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to do that at some point.
Shatner. I mean, listen, there's so many great actors. I haven't watched any of the new shows, so I don't know. I've met Anson from
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds. But I don't know the new shows. That I don't know them at all.
I got one question from Jimmy D3279. How did you end up becoming the voice actor or the voice of Thor?
That was the one that I thought was coming next, so I apologize about that.
No worries. That's what's great about that is the answer to this.
I do, but I wanted with all the audience here. It's like, come on, everyone loves this little guy. Let's spend another beat with him.
Just like what we were talking about the opportunity to play Machello in Holiday. Yeah. Michael Greenberg used to throw these little challenges, and he knew I was a couple of things. He liked my work, but also he was looking for cheap labor. So when Thor first appeared in Thor's Hammer, is it Thor's Hammer? when we first see the puppet for the first time. I think
the puppet is Thor's chariot. We first have him revealed. Right. Yes, that's right.
And he got a couple of lines, and Greenberg came up to me and he sort of said, we need a good actor for this. You want to like do a couple lines for this thing? And I was like, sure, why not? Sounds great. Because I hadn't done any kind of animation work or anything like that. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I do it for nothing. I did it for free. Like that's what I mean. Is they both wanted somebody that was good, but also somebody that was cheap. And so when I did stuff like Machello and whatnot, I didn't bill them separately. Because I was the enthusiastic actor guy that wanted to do this stuff, and so that's how I almost ended up doing Ernest in Torment of Tantalus, young Ernest in Torment of Tantalus, was because he's good but he's cheap, so that's how we ended up. And then what was hilarious, of course, is that's in season 2, I believe, and then by Fair Game, which was in season 3.
Yeah, Machello was season 2, and Fair Game, he was voiceover in season 3.
Yeah, but no, but for in Fair Game specifically, with the meeting of the System Lord.
That's right.
That Thor was overseeing. He had more lines than Daniel Jackson did. So I'd done a couple of episodes where Thor was there, and I would do it for free. And then when I saw the amount of dialogue that Thor had in Fair Game, I said, hang on a second. This guy talks more than I do. This is going to take like hours to voice this over. Like, the first time it was like 10 minutes. This is going to take hours. You got to like throw me union minimum for this. And this, so that's how it continued, is that we'd established the voice and whatnot, and
his demeanor changed. He was much more like sing-song in Thor's chariot, and then you brought in, the human representative is recognized. Like, he's really taking this serious. Like, he's dealing with there's rats in the hen, there's foxes in the hen house. He's there to protect Earth, and the whole demeanor changed from there on in.
And then later on, it started turning into. Well, I originally based it. I had done a play at Stratford with Dougie Rain, and Dougie Rain, for science fiction fans who know the voice but don't know the name, he was the voice of Hap in 2001. And Dougie, I worked with Douglas Rain at Stratford in a production of Merchant of Venice, and it was always hilarious because he's this very respected, serious thespian, and people would come at him in the stage door with copies of 2001: A Space Odyssey for him to sign, and he'd be like,
yeah, it's like Alec Guinness
but iconic, iconic character, right? And I started off when I did Thor, it started off sounding like that, like, I can't do that, Dave. I wanted him to be kind of like monotonic, wise, possibly threatening, but I wanted him to be, so sort of sitting in that vein. And I also wanted to do, my own kind of like fan service for Douglas. And over time, that sort of thoughtful tone started to turn into a little bit of this. And I don't know if you recognize it. It started to turn a little bit more like,
hey, Stewie, how are you? Oh, hello, fat man.
Yeah. Come here, dog.
Absolutely.
Hello, O'Neill. So it started to have a little bit more fun with it that way as time goes on. You'll hear it slightly because they always treated my voice a little bit as well. So you'll hear it slightly, but I started to have a little bit more fun with it that way.
You got to. Come on. Absolutely. Did I set us up next? Yes. Evie.
Yes. So the next question in red is Ilios 0000.
Get all the zeros in, Evie. We don't get yelled at.
You've just done 2. You had to do 4. Okay.
Can we ask Michael his favorite parts of working with Claudia Black?
No, we can't ask that. It just asked if we can ask that. Yes, you can ask that. Go ahead. Claudia is
fellow Australian as well.
Yes. Although she's got that sort of like British thing down to
she's very proper. Yes.
Yeah. But everybody that's a Stargate fan knows my affection for Claudia Black. She came in and sort of revitalized my enthusiasm for the show at the time, with her play. Her desire to play.
Yes.
because not a lot of actors, especially when they come into a show like that, are that, I guess, enthusiastic about play. They're more interested in just getting the job done and doing it right, and getting out without any scars and bruises and whatnot.
Sure.
And she comes in with this incredible sense of play, and that's what defined that dynamic was brought about by her passion, enthusiasm, and our chemistry, and my desire to play with her. So I can't say enough about her talent and her dynamic and energy. It's infectious.
I think it was almost needed after Rick, moved
that's
on.
I didn't realize it at the time, but working less with Rick, like we really when him and I really got to go off a little bit, we always had fun and we always enjoyed the dynamic, and we still, anybody that's seen us on stage together knows that we enjoy the shit out of each other's company.
Yes.
And when he was gone, I didn't have that kind of partner on the show anymore in a regular capacity.
You had to fill in a lot of that space until she came along.
And she came along, and her character, the way it was outlined, had a lot of humor naturally built in, but then she brought it, to that next level. Because I'm trying to remember the name of the actress that they originally cast, and not that she would have done a poor job, it just would have been a very different take on the character then.
I don't recall this. I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that either.
If it comes to you, stop thinking about it, and it may come back. So that's interesting. So, Lane.
She dated George Clooney.
Oh, that's a short list.
Narrow that list down.
Okay, Lane. I will actually work on that. Lane, go ahead.
Hot girl in the elevator from Liar Liar.
Okay.
DHD Punk Heather 38. I was diagnosed very late with autism and see some of myself in Daniel. Do you know how much Daniel has made a difference for people with autism and ADHD?
I am aware that there's a community, and I am aware that Daniel is definitely part of the family, 100% for sure. When I was first sort of creating the speech pattern of Spader's character, I'm like, how does this make sense? Well, it makes sense because he's not, what the great thing about the way Spader played it, which was not overt, was the lacking the social cues.
That's right.
And things like that. And so I don't listen, if it's made a difference, for recognition factor for people, then I'm incredibly happy, and I enjoyed playing that part of it and exploring more of the circumstances of that, and I'm glad we have a greater understanding of that I don't want to even personality type.
Yeah,
I don't want to call it condition, like it's something.
No, it's not. It's just we are a rainbow of different kinds of creatures,
and it's a scale, right?
Yeah.
It's so neat, and I possess a certain part of it as well.
But you've figured out how to tether it into a superpower, and you just know how to sling it.
It's sliding scale, right? Everybody's got it to a certain degree. It's just a matter of where the dial sits, right? So
we all have our own little obsession with something, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So the answer to your question, Michael, is Krista Allen.
Krista Allen. That's who originally they'd offered the part to.
I did not know that.
Wow.
You don't know that? Yeah,
That's news to me.
And she couldn't do it. She was doing something else, and so she couldn't do it. And so, and I thought I hadn't seen Far Escape at this point. I'd met Ben, but I hadn't seen Far Escape. I'd met Ben on a plane, and I hadn't seen Far Escape. And when Claudia showed up, and I had this, I don't know, because they told me that they offered it to Krista, I was like, I had this archetype in my head, and Claudia is not Krista Allen.
No.
Very different take on the character, and that's what's so funny about that people don't realize in terms of an actor putting their stamp on things. That's how different something could be, where you couldn't visualize anybody else playing Vala, and you couldn't picture any other way to play Vala than the way Claudia did. Imagine the difference. Not to say there's anything wrong, but it's just a different take,
Evie, let's pivot away from Stargate for a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay. Am I reading the next question?
Anthony's question, please.
Anthony's question?
But make it about lawn care.
I'm actually could really use some help with that right now.
Actually, with Lane, let's go into heavy equipment operation. Let's do this. Come on, we can answer some questions.
Lawn care, love it.
You have to drain the diesel line. You have to drain the diesel line.
Always, actually.
Michael, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. So next question from Anthony. And Anthony says, you won a Leo Award in 2004 for Dramatic Series Best Lead Performance Male for the episode Lifeboat. As an actor, it must be hard to get into that psyche of one character. How did you manage with so many? And did you get confused with who was who?
Not to delve too deeply into the weeds on actors' process, but I had done a TV movie where a girl had a multiple personality disorder in the movie, and it was one of those, I don't know, Lifetime channel kind of movies, and they'd cast her 2 days before we started shooting. So the actress went from having she'd been cast for an audition, so she went from having audition sides to now being handed the script, where she's playing 8 different personalities in this one person. I was playing her psychologist, and I watched how she struggled because she didn't have preparation time, and so a lot of it fell into sort of like cliche and it wasn't her fault. This is just it's like, okay, now you're playing Temptress version of the character, and I remember sitting there going, this is not fair, just sitting there as another actor watching her struggle, and she was sick at the time too, and I'm like this is not fair. I said, do these people understand excuse me, our process, that we kind of, like when it still happens to this day, and I always just shake my head of like when you get an audition and there's 14 pages or something like that, and you have to put that audition on tape or whatever in 2 days, right?
Wow.
And you're like, this is 14 pages. There's a whole person here. There's a 3-dimensional portrayal that I need, and I want to give you the best version of this, and you want the best version of this, and this feels like an experiment. Like, give us a little more time and you'll get a better product at the other end. And that's for audition. Right. So this is
you got to respect the process.
Like, if you want this actor to be really good in this, give them a break. Like, throw them a bone. And so what happened anyway, to answer the question. So I watched her go through this, and I felt I had nothing but empathy for, but I filed in my brain at that moment. Okay, if ever I get an opportunity to have that kind of challenge, to play a character with, a brain full of personalities or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Time is the factor, that right from the, and so what happened was Brad had written the script, and I asked for it. When I heard that it was coming down the pike, I said, please get me whatever copy you have as soon as you have it. So at least I have a ballpark idea of what, how many personalities I'm dealing with, what types they are, so I can start disseminating. Because we're also filming at the time too. We're also filming another episode while we're learning this next episode that's coming up. Wow. Yeah. So, you don't even have as much time as you would for an audition. You were literally like kind of like on set during the day and then running off set. And I'm sitting in my trailer and I'm going over blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that's enough of a chore to prep one, shoot one, and get copies of stuff, or if scene changes happen, blah, blah. Anyway, not to get, like I said, too deep into the weeds. And so that was, and they're gracious enough to do that. So I had the benefit of about a week of knowing what kind of character types there were. So I had the preparation time to kind of try and, find them, pick them out of, I'd go home at night and maybe watch a movie and say, oh, I like that guy. I'm going to grab that guy. He sounds like my guy, and that kind of thing. And then you start to take that and character develop it, dimensionalize it, and whatever, and bring it to the thing. So sorry,
Michael.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, when we watched this episode for Wormhole Extremists, I did a little bit of research, and I think I saw somewhere that you based one of the characters, Matisse, on Ralph Fiennes' character from Schindler's List.
Yes,
does that sound familiar? Wow.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and there was another character where you tried to channel your inner Patrick Stewart.
No, that wasn't that. It was I did Tryon.
The engineer
was Jack Lemmon was Jack Lemmon in the China Syndrome.
Right.
Yeah, very analytical.
And in order to keep them straight in my head, again with the shortened timeline, they all needed a bit of a different vocal quality. And that's why you get Matisse has a bit more. He has a bit more of a standard English dialect. It's not British, but it's standard English dialect where he speaks a little bit like this. And then you have Tryon had a Bostonian accent. He had a bit more of a drawl to it, a bit more of a thing, so that when I transferred between the characters, I could keep them straight, and that everybody would know by the sound of the voice who it was as well. It's not just for me, but for everybody else.
Shorthand.
And then
there was the little boy, wasn't there?
And there was the little boy, which
Keenan
was Peter DeLuise showed me the audition tape.
Yes, Ryan Drescher.
Yeah, didn't you deliberately match him?
Yes, I deliberately matched him. So he showed me his audition tape, and I just took that into my trailer and just kind of like stole it and did his mannerisms, because he was very deliberate about the way he would say things, and I was like, oh yeah, this he's already there. He's done my work for me. So yeah. Wow. So it's I know that takes away the like I said, not getting too deep in the weeds of actors' process, but just like my good friend Lane here, we're craftspeople. When we are digging a ditch, when we're digging a hole, when we're putting, when we're digging a rat hole, you got to dig the damn thing first before you put in the metal cylinder and then pour the concrete base to the side of it, blah, blah, blah. There's a process and there's a way of doing things that is not very I shouldn't say it's not very, it's scientific in the sense that it's just work. That's why we're craftspeople. It's just work. We're just building a shelf.
I have a question for you, though.
People have different ways. Yeah.
Did you have any tricks for memorizing? Because you had to memorize so many lines all the time, especially the big long tangents that you'd go on. When you're explaining something, do you have any tricks for memorizing a lot of those lines? Was there a special process to it, or because I couldn't imagine just getting it as correct as you could.
Well, I will say this. No, there's no trick. It is pure hours put in. And I joke with my family now about the hours I kept when I do a television program, because I did the same thing with Saving Hope too. Had a lot of medical expository dialogue, not as much as Daniel did, thank God. But it's just hours put in, and so every moment that people go, oh, he's going back to his trailer, oh, and it's like, no, I'm going back to the office to learn. Like I said, we're shooting one show, and I'm trying to learn dialogue, but learn story and arc, mark out my beats and stuff like that. I still have a process in terms of marking up a script and circling certain words and trying to figure out the underlying, there's a whole process. Again, it's not glamorous. It's not, I don't know. I just show up on set and it just comes out. It's just, building shelves, and it's just hours. Yeah. And I would joke that if I now at my age had to do the workload that I did when I was on Stargate, because I would come home at 8 o'clock at night. And we were a pretty civilized show as far as filming hours
The
went.
scheme of things.
They wanted to do 12-hour days, and that was it, because Rick didn't want anybody to murder themselves making television, because X-Files was across the way, and they were shooting 20-hour days and stuff like that. It was crazy. And we never really, we did occasionally, but we didn't do it that much. We would night shoot occasionally, which would really throw everybody off. But so it was just man hours, man. I would just, if I had, like I said, if I would get home at like 8 o'clock, work out, and then break out the script and start learning tomorrow's work and start peeking at the day after that and the day after that and the day after that. So it was, any moment that I had was spent trying to learn this stuff, so that I could do my job. Which as Rick always said, in early seasons when I had expository passages during the pilot, he said, "You're screwed now." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "You showed him you could do it."
The gobbledygook. Rick called it the gobbledygook.
And they sure did. They sure did. It wasn't always pretty. But it was just sheer force of will. And I would literally sometimes have to choose the night before. I would have to choose between somewhat more clear-headed, go to bed at 2 to wake up at 6, or stay up an extra hour, 3, 4 or something like that, and not get any sleep, but keep learning the things. You kind of choose of like, am I good? Is it better to be clear-headed tomorrow, or am I going to be rat-arsed but know the words, or am I going to kind of know the word? Like those are the kind of choices.
And to eat
now,
healthy
like I said,
and exercise and have a little bit of
all
life.
of that. Like I can't even. Never mind how I'd look in the morning. Like the makeup artist at this point would have to put me together with.
Thank God for the makeup department.
The things that Jan saw, I can only imagine. So
yeah, and I was young. That's what I mean. It's like so it's sheer force of will. There was no tricks, because it's not. My wife actually she can learn lines really fast, which is a gift. I don't have that ability, so it was just about practice, reinforce, and then get there and do.
Was it? Were you able to like get to the point where you could like see the lines in your head, or was it just like like you said, muscle memory, just kind of knowing what you'd have to say?
That's an interesting question.
We always say about writing is you can really tell good writing because it doesn't take that much to memorize.
Right.
Because if you get somebody writing something that this is how people talk and this is what the thought process is, then it's usually pretty straightforward to get underneath. It's what I call is putting the train on the tracks, and then you can just push it and the choo-choo looks after itself, because whatever emotional state that you're in comes naturally through the words that are coming out of your mouth, and so does the thought process.
Right.
When it's not, that's the big challenge, is because now it's just words. It's like learning something phonetically, right? Like learning a different language phonetically. It's the same as when you're memorizing this stuff. Is like, if the emotional shifts don't make any sense, it doesn't feel right, and your body kind of rejects it, goes, wait a minute, I don't, that's not how that makes me feel, and you have to kind of like grab it and pull it over here. So it's with we
kind
always
of forced at that point.
Yeah, something's easier to memorize when it's really well written, because that's how people think, that's how people speak. So.
Yeah.
I am going to give you a trigger warning, okay? I'm not sure how you're going to feel, but I'm just going to feel you out.
Oh my God. Well, buy me a drink first, for God's sake.
I'm gonna let you swallow first. Okay. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Oh yes.
Emma Bentley.
Ribbed for my pleasure.
Why is it black?
Well, Lane, let me tell you a little story.
When a man and woman fall in love.
Yeah.
Emma Bentley, 7945. how do you feel after all this time about the Zat? And how would you feel about a reunion with it in the future? Crying, laughing face had to ask. So it's important to understand the props people, they were constantly replacing these things on all manner. The pneumatic ones had 3 charges of opening and closing. And this piece here shot forward and back. And if you're not paying attention, the visual effects will suck it up and you'll never know. I didn't know for years. And on top of that, these sections here, where it would be here and where it would be here, were replaced with rubber, with latex glove material that dried out after a few days because they needed an elasticity in order to hide the moving parts. That was still in place all the way through Continuum at the end.
You
so
can't even
these
tell
things,
the story without sounding like
I know it feels like I'm reading from a technical manual and I don't have the
but
terminology.
It's like you're describing the way you're describing it is so loaded as well, so to speak. It's like,
I warned you.
In order for it, you had to press the button for it to get erect. You know, and they wanted to have the thrusting motion of the forward part.
No, there are kids watching.
Nobody
I know.
saw, which nobody ever saw.
Yeah, they
nobody
couldn't.
Unless the camera was even in the close-up shot with that ridiculous close-up shot of the blast coming out the front of the weapon in several different episodes that we used. There was this motion when you open it up, like it was a CO2 charge thing where you press the button, you'd open it up, so that Z would become a bigger Z or Z, depending on where you're from.
Capital Z.
And then you press the button on the side and the front, and they spent thousands of dollars to make this happen. The front of it would go. That's what it would do. It was so with the working copies of that, like you have, that's what
it's a replica. Yeah, it's a replica.
So that's sturdy. When you get the practical ones and they'd open, they were on like little tiny hinges with little tiny fabric, whatever. And then once it was erect, you'd press the button and it would go. And that was the working one, which nobody in the history of viewing of the show ever saw that thing do its thousands of dollars motion of.
I don't know why they didn't catch on. Yeah, just stop making it do that. Save yourself some trouble.
You could have the damn thing in the same position, like a phaser, for example, and just have it do that. But it had to like get erect and then thrust.
Oh, I have a follow-up question, actually.
I don't know, Evie.
Keep going.
You're keep in mind, you want to stay on Wormhole Extremists, right? So I'm just inserting that. Pardon the pun.
I promise.
Right. I'm glad Nicole's not here. I'm just saying.
I was going to ask Michael what he thought about them getting rid of the disintegration capabilities of the Zat. Because for a while there, it was the third shot made everything disappear.
This is also one of the practical problems. Like
yeah.
Well, when? Because, 1 shot stuns, 2 shots kill. 3 shots disintegrate. When? Like, I got shot by several Zats. Shouldn't I, the second time I got shot, die? Like, why am I getting stunned again?
So I have a fan. I have.
Yeah. What's the time lapse on disintegration? Like, do you have to wait 3 hours and before you can go back in the pool?
I have
how long is it before you disintegrate after you like?
You got to hit it 3 times in a row.
Like it was like it's like, and how come all of a sudden, like in 1969, where like when O'Neill shoots the lock off the box
and unlocks it, yeah,
it's like so they open locks now?
They added a rule, So
shouldn't it be stunned? Shouldn't that lock be stunned first? Shouldn't you have to shoot it 3 times before?
I can't unlock yet, guys. You gotta give me a minute to rest.
Oh, it's dead. It's not opening now. It's dead. I shot it a 3rd time. I disintegrated the whole box. So
that's right.
I'm not being too nitpicky when I nitpick this stuff. That it had its flaws. So So to answer the original question of how would I feel about a reintroduction to it, tepid. It's myself and the Zat. I don't know if, over the years, like you saw certain people like Teal'c and Carter always had a Zat as a sidearm after years. You notice that Daniel never did. That's because Michael would say, "Get that thing away from me unless we need it for the episode." Like, I don't want anything to do with that silly device because it for lack of a better word, it was silly gun.
God.
Bad gun.
Maybe we'll get an upgraded version in the show now.
Well, I mean, listen, to be 100% fair to all the creatives, and I know I feels like I'm crapping on the people that created the thing. There's a lot of work that went into our weapons and stuff like that. So it is what it is. It was, the whole disintegration thing was brought about as a result of the episode where it was introduced in Serpent's Grass.
You got it, buddy. God.
Was that it?
God.
Well done.
Let me see if you still remember this one. Castiana, Sahal, and
Hagen Bray.
Woo! He's
the
got
dementia
it.
has clearly
Ding,
set
ding,
in.
ding, ding,
I'll be saying that to my children in my hospital bed.
Oh man,
Hagen Bray.
That's it. No. I am Daniel Jackson. No, I'm Daniel Jackson. God, I loved him. He was so good.
I tell you, Lexa on Andromeda, we had the Zat gun. And we all thought it was silly, but their regular sidearm was something called a Force Lance, and you can't imagine the behind the scenes that would go on with a Force Lance, because it's all it was a stick. It was a stick with that you fired it was like a flashlight, right? But it was just and then if you wanted to fight hand to hand, you could press a button and it would go out like a lightsaber, like the double-edged lightsaber, where you could fight it like with a stick, right? And it was called a Force Lance. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, and I think one of Sorb's favorite lines was, "Want to see my Force Lance?" And he would do that to everybody that would listen.
No.
I thought you were Jewish
anymore. So yeah, it's not science fiction weapons, not an easy game for anybody.
Oh God.
No, he's so practical.
Yeah.
Michael, are you good?
Yeah, I probably got another 15 to half an hour, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay.
I gotta go pick up my daughter.
All right, perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Lane?
We got a question from Bella Virgo 8073. What do you think of AI as characters like yourself? Good, bad, or indifferent?
We haven't really talked about this. I'm very interested to hear what you're willing to say.
Well, for fun, for sport, it's fine. Like when I think Browder of all people sent me what was it? Trailer Park SG-1 or something like that. Somebody had done a YouTube video.
Yes.
Where we were all redneck hicks and something like that.
They put a lot of work into that thing.
No kidding, right? I wouldn't even know. That's how, like I said.
So many scenes.
It's hard for me to be on Zoom right now. I'm so tech unsavvy. My wife holds my hand if she's around. So the idea of AI stuff is, listen, there was a strike. The actors and the writers went on strike because of the fear of what AI would bring. And how I feel about it, with me myself, like in terms of if somebody puts up an AI for shits and giggles, you knock yourself out. I don't care about that.
For memes.
If it it's in the realm of where it gets into reproducing your work, that you see, I think, was it Romulus, Alien Romulus with
oh yes,
Ian Holm.
Ian Holm.
The recreation of Ian Holm in the aggregate, you sort of go, well, he's a robot, so it's a little bit funky, like it's not quite human enough looking kind of thing. It's still got a few bugs to iron out before they can really. But Ian Holm is past, like they created him and his voice. His voice was perfect, and you're like, oh, that's scary, how they can recreate people, and the way that things have always worked in contracts is that in perpetuity for all of time, they own my image. MGM owns my image as Daniel Jackson in perpetuity for all of time, right? So can they reproduce Michael Shanks walk into the grocery store for it? No, but can they produce Daniel Jackson? Yeah. That's we handed them that, but that was what the strike was about, which is to temper the language of that, because that, of course, when those contracts were originally signed, this wasn't even dreamt of, or if it was just dreamt of. So I have no problem with it in fun. In practicality, it's a problem, because I don't even know, my youngest daughter is following in my footsteps by getting a university theater degree. Oh my God, right? Okay. So she's going to be an actor someday. And this is a whole new world, a whole new paradigm that's meeting out for that generation than the one I had to deal with.
Yeah.
We're all trying to catch up because the technology is so quick, as tech goes. It's happening exponentially right in front of our eyes. So we're all trying to keep up, and we're trying to keep even just abreast of, not to get too deep in the weeds on AI, but like, how many people thought that the announcement of the Stargate show was BS because of how many clickbait AI generated stories that came out that had X, Y, and Z, Henry Cavill's starring and Liam Hemsworth is starring in the new version, blah, blah, blah.
That's why Gate World was so crucial to that launch, because
Absolutely.
Darren, he wouldn't budge for years on any news because he couldn't get a second source. So it wasn't happening. So you had these websites left and right that were just cranking them out and cranking in the ad dollars.
That's
and I'm
right.
not someone who will take a single red cent from fans. I will not do it, even to do this show. I run a huge deficit doing this, and it's my labor of love. But Darren, when he published it, people knew. And people were like, well, what does Gate World say?
And he's one of the few people that have scruples. There's a lot of people out there that don't, that go after.
They just don't care.
Like just for the clicks, just for the traffic.
Yeah.
It's all a
They're putting two of these things out a day for the next year and a half.
Yeah. So I'm not, like I said, the writers, the actors, they're all concerned about the potential for AI. Like I said, for fun, it's great, but we're all kind of concerned. I'm not concerned. Here's the thing. I'm not concerned when it comes to an AI actor replacing a human being. It's a novelty now. It's like animation to me, right? It's like when Disney and help me out with
more information.
The guys that do the Disney animated.
Oh, Pixar.
Pixar. Thank you.
Yeah.
God.
Oh.
You're right.
When Pixar when it went from the drawings to the computer animated stuff, I was in university at the time that happened. And I remember seeing that first that lamp story.
Luxo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I remember going, that looks really good. Mm-hmm. And so I look at AI human creation as a form of animation. Like, we've been reproducing what people sound like, what things sound like, what, and we finally come to the place where like we can replace them, like an avatar and stuff like that. But what you cannot eliminate. And so I think there's a place for it in the world of entertainment. There is a place for AI for storytelling. And I'm always a big fan of that. But what it will never replace is human beings, because the reason that this is a thing is we're all looking for a reflection of our human experience. And no matter how good the tech gets, it'll get good at imitating it, but it won't get good at you cannot imitate a soul. And that's what artists bring to the work, is the soul. You can, like I said, you can imitate a politician in an AI thing, but when you look in the eyes after a while, it's BS.
But your kids have to look in the eyes of people to recognize it. And these Zoomers, they're going to be much more comfortable with text than we are.
Beings, with movies, with TV, we're all looking for a reflection of our own lives. We're all looking for some reflection, to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, as Shakespeare said.
Yes.
We're all looking for that. Show me what I feel. Show me how to feel. Show me what it would feel like if I had to do what that character's doing. Blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, it's not a thing. What are we doing? We're just up there, doing pratfalls and slipping on banana peels and whatever. We're entertaining, but we want an emotional bond. And part of that process, like it or not, is also knowing that when we fall in love, as an example, with a character, we sometimes fall in love with that actor because we associate them. And to know that they're real is an important part of that they're a flesh and blood human being is a part of that, because we know I could actually meet them someday. I could, and that's,
you fantasize.
Yeah, exactly. If the entertainment industry to a large degree is about sex, then we want to know that if that person finally divorces that person, I finally have my shot. And that's been the way it's been since entertainment began. And that's why there is such a thing as celebrity, is we all have our crushes and our whatevers. And so it's a big, like if someone does a great AI performance, I go, wow, that was great, and great imitation of a human being.
That's it. Even if it made you feel something.
That's right. So. I can empathize with Wally, when he's trapped on his trash world and he falls in love with the girl and whatever. Is like, I go, oh my God, that's just like, the first crush I had kind of thing. And he's a robot. He's an animated robot, for God's sake. I can empathize with him. I can certainly empathize with an AI character, but it's about finding that soul. So actors will never be replaced. But I think that there's a place in the entertainment world for this stuff.
I remember Knights of the Old Republic around 02. It's a Star Wars title, one of the greatest games ever made. And I had never been attracted to any inanimate thing before. And then Bastila Shan came along. And I spent 40 hours with Bastila. And by the end of that journey, I had fallen in love with a 2D animated character. I didn't desire her, but I cared so much about it.
Is she the tentacle-headed girl?
No, she was the Jedi who had the. Yep, you got to be careful with your gestures, Michael. Do this.
Okay. See, this is how tech savvy I am. Thank you, David, for giving me all these cues.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I had a.
Elaine's like, I don't get any confetti.
I don't get any.
I had a perfectly clippable moment with an actor a few episodes ago, and the exact moment in the hour that I would have wanted to clip it, she did this, and balloons floated up behind her, and it was like, you just ruined that shot. You know what? You can just go. Fly a kite. Stop it. Anyway, but I fell for this character, and I think it was mostly the voice. But I still think about her. She's still a part of that period of my life.
Yeah,
and she doesn't exist.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of wild. Maybe I'm just screwed up. So anyway,
no, but that's what it is. It's about that and there's emotion attached to it. It's not just like I have a crush on whatever. It's like you have a crush on a character. They're in a situation, demonstrating something about themselves that you can relate to in the situation.
And it was unnerving. This was like, what's happening to me? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Evie, one last question for Michael, and it's yours. And Lane, buddy, thank you.
No problem.
I'll just go with the next one highlighted.
The one in red, Quentin Rom.
So Quentin Rom, 5075, Michael, how often were you able to get away with riffing some of your lines?
Because Rick was the king of that, but did they give you any room?
Yes. Early seasons, no. But what was great about the early seasons is that because Rick, I wouldn't do it unless Rick was there. I was being, cautious, good actor, young, minding my P's and Q's, doing my job and trying not to step on toes. But when Rick would go off the page, well, you're off the page now. This line doesn't work anymore. So, okay, what's off the top of my head? And I've always been, pretty good at keeping up with improv and whatnot. So it became that thing. And that's where he was looking for somebody to play with. That's where that dynamic kind of grew out of. And as the years went on, I remember by season 8, they were kind of, really being strict with the cast of Atlantis because it was their, first season on that show with lines and whatnot.
Completely different feeling over there. Yeah.
We're, I'm because Rick is still around, but I'm kind of more comfortable doing my own thing, that I almost felt bad for them, because it's like, if we had to do a scene or something, I could go off the page and the writers would go, "Oh, that's fine. We trust you." But with those guys, they'd be like, "What do you mean you trust him? Like you're telling me which period I have to stop at, and you're telling him he could just say a completely different thing." And it was one of those things that the trust was earned at that point. That if Michael went off the page, he knew where he was going with it. So, like, give him a chance before we grab him and rein him back in or whatever. Like, Michael's going off the page. We'll see what pops out of his mouth. It might be funny. Occasionally he says something humorous. Who knows, right? So, there was a lot more leash given as the years went on. And then, of course, when Claudia came back to the show, we were, again, kind of, outside of exposition, we were kind of shooting from the hip when it came to certain beats. Whatever popped out of her mouth, it was like, get them in that 2-shot. Rick always said, too, when we were doing it, it's like, get the 2-shot. When we were off the page, is that the little Abbott Costello dynamic happening in the 2-shot was priceless. And if you could capture the lightning in a bottle in that moment, then you could, even though you're offending them by not saying their words, you could also show them, yeah, but this is better.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask a follow-up question to that.
Yes.
In the episodes of Atlantis that you appeared in, were you strictly having to keep to the script, or did they give you a little bit more leeway?
He was with Hewlett at that point, so we didn't have a lot of. They had a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, I only did the two, like, outside of the pilot, which was pretty sterile in terms of like, our dialogue in that. When it was with Hewlett, he's always like Hewlett's a well-seasoned actor, and strangely enough, Martin Garrow wrote those episodes.
Yeah.
And he was the one who was on set writing additional dialogue for us, because we would blast through those scenes
too fast.
Way too fast.
Oh, wow.
Like, even when I think I rewatched them recently, and I said, "Oh my God, our storyline seems so short by comparison, because we got through 5 pages in 30 seconds or 45 seconds, and then it's back to Flanagan on the whatever ship dealing with the suit bad guys, gunfire and all the other stuff. We're back to us talking." Gone. But again, part of the beauty, we stuck to the script for the most part, because there was a lot of exposition in what we were doing too. But when it came to the banter part, there was probably, I'd have to rewatch it to see where, but there was probably a lot of leeway given for isms between the lines. So, but there was a lot of exposition. So we would always stick to the dialogue for exposition, because that's the pipe of the story. That's the structure of the story. You can't deviate from that for your own purposes.
May I ask one final question?
Yeah, of course.
So, Wind of Opportunity, one of my favorite beats is, you guys are going to have to help me by learning and remembering. And then Jack goes, and he's like, "How hard can it be?" And then Daniel goes, "It's subtle. It's perfect. Please tell me that was an ad lib."
No.
That was
scripted. That was scripted.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. I mean, the joke is set up right there, right? Like, well, I mean, how hard can it be?
You can't tell. It's not possible. So, but so
that's
man. Do you miss him? Do you miss that exchange with like an older brother? Or is it like, what? That was a good time, but that was pretty intense. I'm good. Oh, Michael, I can't hear you. Can you guys hear him?
No.
Yeah, nope. Something happened. I think his Zoom crap. Yeah, you're muted, buddy. You're on mute.
Now.
There you go. Try it again. Well, uh-oh. You want to log out and log back in, and then we can wrap you up? Or can Lexa do that? I'm so sorry. If you've got to go, you've got to go. It's okay.
He's just miming. The microphone's fine.
Okay. Okay. This is the interpretive dance part of the conversation. So
talking about going off script.
Here, let me call him. Let me call him, and he can speak through this, and we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because the microphone ran out of battery. It's one of these little.
It's okay. So go ahead and give us your final thoughts, man. It knew when to give out.
Yeah, it said, "Look up the fucking screen. I'm sick of listening to your shit." I'm sorry. What were we talking
Rick,
about?
Whenever
I see
that
Rick,
back and forth.
Rick is old enough to be my dad in the sense that he's 20 years older than I am.
Yeah.
But he's like my immature older brother when it comes to the dynamic that we have.
Right.
But what he has is a great intelligence and knowledge of other stuff, like I said when I referenced Abbott and Costello and whatnot, is that we both know that when we were even at a convention, and I just there was nobody else that probably would have gotten this, is that I'm telling this story about an owl that I accidentally ran over when I was on a road trip this year, that jumped out in the middle of the road and I accidentally hit him with a car, kind of thing, in the middle of the highway. And Rick's like, of course, Rick listening to the story is like, who? I said, the owl. Who? The owl. Who? Third base. And it's, do you get the joke? Because him and I laughed our asses off. It's the who's on first. It's who's on first. Who? The guy playing first base. Who? The guy playing first base. Who? What's on second base? Who? First base. I don't know what you're talking about. Third base. Anyway, and him and I were laughing our asses off. I don't know if anybody else got it, but and that's the thing, is that we can have that giggle.
Yeah.
Even if nobody else understands. And so that's the camaraderie that I have with him as a human, is that sort of sidelined way of thinking that I cherish. So it's rare.
That's a family. Michael, you have gone above and beyond. You have given so much of your life.
I'm so sorry for being late. I'm so sorry, everybody.
This was a blessing in disguise. Lang got to hang out. He got to hang out with you. Those two characters are very important to so many of us, and we're glad that we got to spend this afternoon with the two of you. There are still 900 people in here. It's been consistent. Do you know what that says? It says that you guys.
But we're knocking them off. We're knocking them off.
Well, but there's more coming on. We've had 9,000 views.
We talk for another hour, we'll get that number down to 700.
He's being modest. But thanks, guys. Really. Michael, we're going to let you go. I'm going to wrap up with these two, okay?
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much
for everything.
Good seeing you again,
and congratulations to the fandom. I'm very excited about this next chapter. I know you guys are too, so looking forward to it.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Bye.
Guys.
So fun.
Lane, thanks, buddy.
Hey, no problem.
I did not. You did yeoman's work today. You really helped us out with Evie and everything here. Come on.
Anytime. Guys.
Well, there we go. Got it. I have to have my squares in order. I'm moving you around on this side. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a like.
Please do.
If you want to watch a couple of folks riff on some Stargate episodes that you know and love in real time to rewatch you, this is the place where you can do it. We are the Wormhole Extremists. We're missing one right now, but Lane, you've been a great pinch hitter, buddy. This means the world to me that you did this, and I think Michael, he really enjoyed that. So.
Yeah, me. Oh, so did I.
Reunion.
Having that picture ready to go there. That was.
Absolutely.
That was meant to be, for sure.
I asked him to dig some out, and I can't wait to see what he's got next. So we're going to have him back at some point here soon. If you enjoy the channel, poke around here, guys, before you leave, and see some of our shorts. Evie has spent so much time working on some of these, and they're hilarious. They're just little time capsules of our journey over the past 3 years that we didn't realize.
Of them, I think
we've been building towards this. So
yeah.
Evie, you did great. What time is it there? Is it 4 in the morning?
It's 5 in the morning. The sun has come up.
Oh, you're going to go back to bed?
Yes, I think so. I think I'll have to catch us a little bit of sleep, so
right.
I'm prepared for the next stream.
Well, give Adam my love, and
Will do.
We will speak tomorrow. We're going to have 2 episodes, SG-1 in Atlantis, and then on Wednesday at I think is it 1 p.m. Pacific
midweek
time?
movie,
and it's Upgrade, which
it
if
is
you have
Upgrade.
not, this is one of my
I haven't
favorite
seen it.
films. Logan Marshall Green. It's a Black Mirror episode. It's very dystopian. It has a lot to do with AI, what we just saw. And it was like, yeah, I can see that. And then it ends in such a way where it's like, I hope I don't live long enough to see the rise of that. So if you want to be terrified before Thanksgiving in the United States, come join us on Wednesday. We're going to let you all go.
Midweek terror.
The live stream with Stephen Culp is coming in just 50 minutes here. I'm going to try and get food in at some point. Stephen
and
was
that'll be back on Dial the Gate.
Yes, on Dial the Gate. We are up and running now. He played Henry Wallace in Stargate Atlantis, the episode Miller's Crossing. So he's going to be joining us over there. I loved him as Major Hayes in Star Trek Enterprise. So there's a lot more to head your way. Appreciate you both. My name is David Reed for the Dial the Gate. I really appreciate you sticking with me. If you like what we do, hang around for more, because we're going to get you some more. See you on the other side, guys. Bye-bye.